across India. To continue with our fruitful first day, we have made our second day equally nourishing. Today we have with us Dr. Sanjay Singh, seasoned journalist, eminent author of 4 bestseller books like Telgi Scam Reporter's Diary, Ek Thi Shinabora. Notably, he has been twice nominated by the government as a member of the Maharashtra State Hindi Sahitya Academy, highlighted his dedication to promoting language and culture. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the National Media Conclave organized by Sister Nivedita University. Please take your seat on stage. Now I would like to invite our senior faculty, Professor Shoykot Mojumdar, to felicitate Dr. Sanjay Singh. Now I would like to invite our respected Dean Ma'am to share her words.
Good morning, everyone, my dear students, scholars, faculty members, and everyone viewing this program online. You know, when we thought of Media Conclave, I thought that Sister Nivedita University Mass Communication and Journalism Department is different from others. So how do we prove it again? And this is a very, mass communication and journalism is a course which much beyond books. And we all know that. Because when we enter the industry, we find that what our teachers taught us and what we actually go on ground and then we see is totally different. So I did not want that to happen to whoever passes through this journey of SNU. Yes, academics is a very important part, but how to amalgamate both academics and industry is the need of the hour. So today when we are following NEP 2020, we are laying stress on actually how to bring industry into academics, and then I thought that nothing best than Sanjay Singh, because he has seen all the summers and winters of journalism when journalism was supposed to be the power of pen, the truth and everything, and we were like flying with high colors, and then came a stage where we thought that yes, expression was getting difficult, and those waves keep on coming up and down, and he has covered major investigative stories, and when we talk of hidden camera stories, investigative stories, we've just heard of it. So I just wanted you to listen to him that how this whole journey was. And today he has also done his academic part, he has done his PhD, he is into academics. So it's the same journey we've all gone through. It's important that we know that how a media personnel as per se, whether it's academics or industry, goes through a journey. And here it is important to listen to him and gather whatever information he gives to us, especially to the students. Yesterday, Mr. Devdi Purohit was there, and the first thing he said that, see, you'll not be allowed to talk, okay? There is no job in the industry. So, in the sense, to that I would want Mr. Sanjay Singh to vouch on that journalism is there, is going to be there, is going to survive, whether it's advertising, whether it's PR, whether it's writing, whether it's digital platform, we are there. COVID, everything stopped, but we did not stop. So, sir, thank you so much to Sister Nivedita University. I would just want you to share your journey and the 3 books that you've written, and all have gone to OTT platform. And this has been written by a journalist. So journalism is everywhere. So we are not in one place, we are everywhere, we are scattered everywhere. Feel proud of being a part of this course, and we hope that you gain a lot of knowledge from this session. Thank you so much. Welcome again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. This session will be moderated by our senior faculty, Professor Orindam Basu. I would like to invite him. Orindam, the floor is yours.
Good morning, students. We will go to the interesting part a little later during our course of discussion, but we'll start with Okay, so we will start with something that is going to be the bread and butter अपना students के लिए, journalism. सर ये जो जर्नलिज्म है, लोग बोलते हैं कि टफ है, राउंड द क्लॉक है. हम स्टूडेंट्स को बोलते हैं कि जर्नलिज्म एक जॉब है जहाँ पे आके अपना घर ही खोल के डेस्क के अंदर रख दो, क्योंकि घर कब जाओगे उसका कोई समय नहीं है. तो आपका जो अनुभव है, आज के जो जनरेशन है, वो लोग सोचते हैं जर्नलिज्म इज़ वेरी इजी. तो इट इज़ नॉट, इट इज़ रेन, समर, विंटर. थोड़ा आप वो शेयर करें पहले.
सबसे पहले तो थैंक यू टू सिस्टर निवेदिता यूनिवर्सिटीज़ का मास कम्युनिकेशन एंड जर्नलिज्म डिपार्टमेंट. और मैं कहना चाहूँगा, मीनल थोड़ी देर पहले बोल रही थी कि आई हैव सीन द समर एंड विंटर. मीनल, आई ऑल्सो सीन द रेनी डेज ऑल्सो ऑफ जर्नलिज्म जो अभी चल भी रहे हैं. I'll tell you that journalism, actually right now you people must be looking at journalism from the perspective of 2023. But ये जो जर्नलिज्म है, ये हमेशा इस तरीके से नहीं रहा था. जर्नलिज्म के साथ में एक चीज़ होती है कि आपके पास एक कमिटमेंट की ज़रूरत होती है. बहुत सारे लोग आपको शायद कहेंगे कि अब कोई ज़रूरत नहीं रहेगी, जर्नलिज्म क्यों कर रहे हो, या बाहर देखो क्या हो रहा है. उसके हिसाब से मत देखिए. व्हाट आई पर्सनली थिंक दैट कि जर्नलिज्म के लिए आज जो माहौल है वैसा पहले कभी नहीं था सर. खासतौर सब द बेस्ट थिंग इज अबाउट द टेक्नोलॉजी. टुडे बेसिकली यू पीपल एक्चुअली आपको कुछ भी भेजना होगा, वीडियो भेजना होगा, एवरीथिंग यू यूज्ड टू सेंड. आई टेल यू, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड द जर्नलिज्म देयर वाज नो अपलिंकिंग फैसिलिटी, देयर वाज नो मोबाइल फोन, देयर वाज नो स्मार्टफोन, देयर वाज नो व्हाट्सएप, नो सोशल मीडिया, नथिंग. होता ये था कि वी यूज्ड टू गो शूट एंड देन वी यूज्ड टू रश टू एयरपोर्ट एंड वी यूज्ड टू रिक्वेस्ट द पैसेंजर, भाई साहब जरा टेप लेके जाओ ना, दिल्ली में मेरा आदमी पिकअप कर लेगा. दैट वाज एक्चुअली वी स्टार्टेड. उसके बाद काफ़ी लंबी जर्नी हुई. आज तो इनफैक्ट यू पीपल आर इन सच ए गुड पोजीशन कि यू डोंट नीड एक्चुअली अ प्लेटफॉर्म. आपके पास सोशल मीडिया है, पॉडकास्टिंग है, दुनिया भर की चीज़ें हैं कि आप लोग खुद ही अपने आप से चीज़ें शुरू कर सकते हैं. और आपकी अपनी इंडिविजुअल जो क्रेडिबिलिटी है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है, वो आनी बहुत ज़रूरी है. और अगर आप शुरू करते हैं आज के दौर में और अपना खुद का एक मार्केट बनाते हैं, लेकिन उसके लिए आपको बहुत सारी मेहनत भी करनी पड़ेगी. जैसे जर्नलिज्म का सिर्फ मतलब पुराने ज़माने की तरह कि यू शुड बी अ गुड राइटर या आपको लिखने आना चाहिए, उससे नहीं होता है. आज की तारीख में जर्नलिस्ट है वो एक ऑलराउंडर के तौर पे होता है. उसे जर्नलिज्म तो आना ही चाहिए, राइटिंग तो आनी चाहिए, बट उसको शायद मेरे ख्याल से कैमरा भी ऑपरेट करना आना चाहिए, उसको एडिटिंग भी आनी चाहिए, एंड प्लस उसको अपनी जो न्यूज़ है या अपना जो चैनल है उसको मार्केट करना भी आना चाहिए. तो अगर ये आप लोग कर लेंगे देन ये उससे नहीं होगा. जर्नलिज्म के लिए इससे बेहतर आपको दूसरा कोई मौका नहीं मिलेगा. और खासकर जब हम बात करें कि वैल्यू ऑफ जर्नलिज्म की, तो वी लुक एट द टीवी चैनल्स एंड ऑल, तो हमको पता चलता है. मतलब वी ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि आई कैन बी वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दैट कि जो इंडिया के न्यूज़ चैनल्स पे चल रहा है, ज़्यादातर न्यूज़ चैनल पे. लेकिन आप लोगों में एक बदलाव लाने की बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है और आप इसको अच्छे से एनकैश कर सकते हैं और इसके एडिशनल जॉब्स भी मिलते हैं. हो सकता है आपने शुरुआत में जर्नलिज्म की, आगे जाके उससे जो जुड़ी हुई फील्ड होती है, आप पीआर में जा सकते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट में जा सकते हैं, या एकेडमिक्स में आ सकते हैं, या लाइक आप बुक्स लिख सकते हैं, आप OTT पे जा सकते हैं। मैं OTT पर मेरे भी मैं गया हूँ। तो आपके बहुत मल्टीपल आपके दरवाजे बहुत सारे खुल जाएंगे अगर आप जर्नलिज्म से शुरुआत करते हैं, क्योंकि आपके बेसिक्स और फाउंडेशन बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाएगा। जो लाइफ की रियलिटीज़ होती है, जो समाज में हो रहा है, दुनिया में हो रहा है, वो आपका जो अवेयरनेस जो बढ़ेगी, वो आपको आगे लाइफ टाइम तक काम में आती है।
थैंक यू, सो वेल सेड। सर, जर्नलिज्म का तो कई फील्ड है, लाइक मैं तो प्रिंट जर्नलिज्म में रह चुका हूँ फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट पीरियड ऑफ माई करियर। तो आप जो बोल रहे थे कि जब हम लोग जर्नलिज्म करते थे तब इतना टेक्नोलॉजिकल सुविधा नहीं थी। लाइक हम एक पेपर लिख के, हमारा रनर्स होता था, वो जाके पोस्ट एंड टेलीग्राफ ऑफिस में फैक्स कैसे बुक करे, पेपर आया नहीं तो न्यूज़पेपर घुसा दिया फैक्स के अंदर, तो वो फैक्स अटका रहता कि मैं एजेंसी में था, UNI में था, UNI और PTI में तब वो था कि PTI का बंदा आके न्यूज़ भेज ना दे, इसलिए एक न्यूज़पेपर डाल दिया फैक्स के अंदर। तो ये सब करना पड़ता था तब जर्नलिज्म में। लेकिन वाई डिड यू,
आप लोग वैसा मत कीजिएगा, मशीन खराब हो जाएगी फैक्स की।
सो वाई डिड यू डिसाइड टू टेक द रोड ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेटिव जर्नलिज्म? मतलब ये करने, ये चुनने में एक ख़ास किस्म का करेज होना चाहिए कि मेरा दुश्मन बढ़ेगा, मेरे दोस्त के संख्या घटेगा, बदनामी हो सकता है, लाइफ रिस्क भी हो सकता है। तो इसके बावजूद वाई डिड यू हैव डन at least 3 exposes, if I'm not wrong, big ones, and you have written about in your books about people, and you have ruffled a lot of feathers. So क्यों, like?
बिल्कुल जैसे इन्होंने कहा, इनफैक्ट एक इंसिडेंट मैं बताऊंगा, उसके बाद इनके जवाब का आंसर दूं। जब मैंने तेलगी स्कैम एक्सपोज किया था ड्यूरिंग एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में, मैंने महाराष्ट्र के एक्स डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर एंड होम मिनिस्टर को क्वेश्चन पूछा था, छगन भुजबल को, और भरी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में उन्होंने मुझे बोला था तुमको चप्पल उतार के मारूंगा, और इट वाज रिकॉर्डेड ऑन कैमराज एंड एवरीथिंग। आपको and he was the second most powerful person in the state that particular period of time में। लेकिन उसके बावजूद हम लोग मैं खड़ा रहा और हमने वो जो स्कैम था उसको एक्सपोज किया। फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे तेलगी स्कैम है, तेलगी स्कैम में जब मैंने इसको एक्सपोज किया था तो 12 पुलिस ऑफिसर्स वेयर अरेस्टेड, विच इंक्लूडेड मुंबई का पुलिस कमिश्नर, जॉइंट कमिश्नर एंड DCP रैंक ऑफिसर। 2 MLAs वेयर अरेस्टेड, वन फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र एंड वन फ्रॉम आंध्र प्रदेश, दैट टाइम इट वॉज आंध्र प्रदेश। अरेस्ट वगैरह हुए थे। तो ये आपको जो थ्रेट परसेप्शन है वो आपको रहेगा अगर इन्वेस्टिगेटिव जर्नलिज्म करते हैं, बट अगेन हमको इसको पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ द जॉब के तौर पे लेना पड़ेगा। और स्पेसिफिकली लाइक इन मुंबई 2-3 चीज़ें बहुत पॉपुलर होती है न्यूज़ के लिए, 3 चीज़ के लिए जाना जाता है मुंबई। एक है कि वहाँ का कॉरपोरेट वर्ल्ड है जो बहुत पावरफुल है, कमर्शियल कैपिटल है मुंबई को कहते हैं। दूसरा है बॉलीवुड, जो जिसके बारे में आप सब लोग जानते हैं। तीसरा है अंडरवर्ल्ड। मुंबई का जो अंडरवर्ल्ड है वो भी अपने आप में इतना ग्लैमरस है कि इंडिया के अलग अलग कोने में लोगों को पता होता है, कोई दाऊद इब्राहिम है, कोई छोटा राजन है, कोई फलाना नेता गैंगस्टर है, कोई अबू सालेम है वगैरह। तो मुंबई में जब मैंने शुरू किया था तो मेरा एक नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशन था कि जो चीज़ें छुपी हुई है या लोग सामने नहीं ला रहे उसको किसी तरह से सामने लाना। तो आई स्टार्टेड माई थिंक विद क्राइम रिपोर्टिंग से मैंने शुरुआत की थी, और उसके बाद एक के पीछे एक जो खबर हाथ में लगती गई और सक्सेस मिलती गई, तो उस पर्टिकुलर लाइन पे हमने काम करना शुरू किया था। और उसका अच्छा एक बार आपको रिजल्ट भी मिलता है। मतलब आप देखिए किसी की आप मदद करते हैं, कोई छुपी हुई चीज़ होती है, आपके दुश्मन बढ़ेंगे, लोग नाराज़ होंगे, लेकिन बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो आपकी तारीफ़ भी करेंगे और आपको अप्रिशिएट भी करेंगे, और आपको ये भी लगेगा कि आपने सोसाइटी के लिए, अपने समाज के लिए, अपने देश के लिए कुछ तो किया है। तेलगी स्कैम का जो वॉल्यूम था वो 30,000 करोड़ से ज़्यादा का था। मतलब हम जब आपने अभी वेब सीरीज़ जो देखी होगी स्कैम 2003 द तेलगी स्टोरी, जो मेरी बुक पर बनी हुई है, तो उसमें प्रोमो में हम बताते हैं कि 30,000 करोड़। दिस 30,000 करोड़ वॉज अ वेरी कंजर्वेटिव एस्टिमेट। लाइक तेलगी का था, व्हेन हमने उसको एक्सपोज किया था, मैंने ढूंढा था, उसने ईयर 2000 में एक पर्टिकुलर नाइट में एक डांस बार में 84 लाख रुपीज़ एक रात में उड़ा दिए थे। नाउ 84 लाख आई एम सेइंग अबाउट ईयर 2000, जब गोल्ड का रेट वॉज 4004 रुपीज़ पर तोला, विच मीन्स कि उस रात उसने 20 किलो सोना 20 किलोग्राम ऑफ सोना उसने गोल्ड उसने उस रात को उड़ाया था। आप सोच सकते हैं कि 20 किलोग्राम ऑफ सोना का मतलब क्या होगा। आज मैं रफली कैलकुलेट करूं तो उसने एक रात को 2.5 से 3 करोड़ रुपए उड़ा दिए होंगे। अब वो आदमी स्थिति कितना पावरफुल होगा, उसके पास कितना पैसा होगा, कितना मसल पावर होगा, उसके कनेक्शन कितने डीप और लोगों के साथ रहे होंगे। लेकिन आप जब एक बार काम करना शुरू करते हैं तो आपके साथ में जो सोर्सेस होते हैं वो भी डेवलप होते हैं, अच्छे लोग भी आपके साथ में आते हैं। मैंने जब रिपोर्ट को एक्सपोज किया था, देन अन्ना हजारे नाम के एक सोशल वर्कर हैं, बहुत आपने शायद नाम भी सुना होगा उसका, उन्होंने मेरी रिपोर्ट को बेस बनाकर एक पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन है वो भी हाई कोर्ट में फाइल की थी। मेरी रिपोर्ट को बेस बनाकर 3 से 4 पब्लिक PIL फाइल हुई थी हाई कोर्ट में, जिसके बाद हाई कोर्ट ने भी उसकी मॉनिटरिंग की थी। तो जब आपको इस तरह की सक्सेस वगैरह मिलते जाती है तो उसके बाद आपको लगता नहीं है कि थोड़े बहुत जो थ्रेट वगैरह आएंगे वो आपको लेकर चलना चाहिए। देखिए थ्रेट रिस्क तो लाइफ में हर चीज़ में एक्चुअली में होता है। आप रोड क्रॉस करोगे तो भी ठीक है, और मेरे ख्याल से आप सब लोग जानते हैं कि लाइफ में अगर आगे बढ़ना है तो रिस्क तो लेना पड़ेगा ना डार्लिंग।
So a very filmy way to finish. So let's begin the next session with the trailer of Telgi scam. Can we see the trailer?
तेलगी खोटा सिक्का है,
तेलगी सांप है।
तेलगी बहुत स्मार्ट है।
तेलगी पूरी रिस्क लेगा।
मुझे तेलगी चाहिए।
क्या नाम था?
था नहीं मैडम, है अब्दुल करीम तेलगी। अगर देश की अर्थव्यवस्था कुबेर का खजाना है तो स्टैम्प पेपर उसकी चाबी। जैसे आप कायदे की भाषा समझते हो ना, वैसे मैं फायदे की भाषा समझता हूँ। सेविंग्स अकाउंट में कॉन्फिडेंस जमा करा के रखा है मैंने, कैश भी आ जाएंगे।
मुबारक हो, बाप बन गए आप। स्टैम्प पेपर फायदा हुआ है।
जिस दिन आपने सामने वाले की जरूरत समझ ली, समझ लो आपने धंधा समझ लिया।
सरकार द्वारा अधिकृत स्टैम्प पेपर्स अपराधियों के हाथ में कैसे आ सकते हैं?
दिस इज ए स्कैम।
टोटल किया है
30,000 करोड़।
अरेस्ट अब्दुल करीम तेलगी नाउ।
अभी आप भी अपना आंकड़ा बोल दो।
3
क्या आप कुछ बोले क्या? आवाज नहीं आ रही ठीक से।
3 लाख
भिजवाता हूँ। सब में और मेरे में बहुत फर्क है। मैं खिलाड़ी हूँ।
So this web series is based on his bestseller, Telgi, on the Telgi scam. And one small anecdote which I just learned today, when NDTV launched itself, NDTV 24/7, the first story that NDTV launched itself with was the Telgi scam. And so the first man who was seen on screen on NDTV was Mr. Pranoy Roy. And the second was Dr. Pranoy Roy. And the second person who was seen on the screen who was filing the story, who was giving the report, was Dr. Sanjay Singh. So you are sitting with a person who has created milestones in journalism, and after that he has changed his course and has become a full-time author. तो इसके पीछे तो कोई राज रहा होगा कि आप सडनली जर्नलिज्म क्यों छोड़ दिए। जिस तरह का जर्नलिज्म आप करना चाहते हैं उस तरह का जर्नलिज्म हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, अगर चेंज हो रहा है तो किस तरफ जा रहा है जर्नलिज्म। वी डोंट माइंड बीइंग कंट्रोवर्शियल हियर, सो बट द स्टूडेंट शुड लर्न व्हाट्स द राइट काइंड ऑफ जर्नलिज्म।
आई टेल यू, चेंज करने के पीछे जो सबसे बड़ी वजह थी कि लास्ट हम 8 से 10 साल के बीच में देखे कि जर्नलिज्म वैसा जर्नलिज्म रह नहीं गया जैसा उससे होना चाहिए था। असल में बहुत कम न्यूट्रल स्पेस नहीं रह गया। आप इधर इस तरफ कोई है या दूसरा सामने वाले की तरफ है। इतना ज़्यादा बाकी जो प्रेशर वगैरह आ रहा है आप किसी भी चैनल को ओपन कर लीजिए, किसी भी तरह का डिबेट आप खोल के देख लीजिए, ज़्यादातर 80% डिबेट्स के अंदर आपको है ना एक ही तरह की चीज़ें मिलेगी। और एक तरह से लग रहा है कि जो देश का जो सोशल फैब्रिक है वो पूरी तरह से एक एक करके टूटते जा रहा है। और किसी भी तरह का आप 8 से 10 साल में कोई भी इन्वेस्टिगेटिव जर्नलिज्म या स्कैम कोई बहुत बड़ा एक्सपोज हुआ हो वगैरह, उस तरह की कोई चीज़ सामने नहीं आ रही है। इनफैक्ट ना जब हम आजकल इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज को भी देखते हैं, चाहे ईडी की बात करें, सीबीआई की बात करें वगैरह, हमें लगता है कि ये एजेंसीज एक्चुअली इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज नहीं है, बल्कि एक पॉलिटिकल एजेंसी है जो अपने एक पॉलिटिकल मोटिव के साथ काम कर रही है। तो वो उस लेवल का जर्नलिज्म रह नहीं गया था, और उसके अंदर मुझे भी कहीं में घुटन सी मुझे फील तो हो रही थी, और लग रहा था कि मतलब करें क्या। जो मुझे अच्छा जर्नलिज्म करना था, चीज़ों को एक्सपोज करना था, लेकिन माहौल ऐसा नहीं था, और जो प्लेटफॉर्म जो थे वो भी अलग अलग वजह से, कमर्शियल वजह से या तमाम वजह से वो लोग उस तरह का प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं हो रहा था। उसके बीच में मुझे एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली थी कि सोनी लिव वाले आए थे मुझे ढूंढते ढूंढते इन 2019 के अक्टूबर में, एंड उन्होंने कहा था कि उनको मेरी किताब मैंने जो लिखी थी उसके ऊपर उन्होंने कहा कि उनको एक वेब सीरीज़ बनानी है, वो OTT के लिए करते हैं। तब मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन ये था कि OTT क्या होता है। दैट वाज 2019। तो उसके बाद उनसे बात वगैरह हुई, एंड देन काफ़ी उसमें चर्चा वगैरह हुई। देन दे बॉट द राइट्स ऑफ माई बुक, और फिर मेरे पास चॉइस थी कि मैं जर्नलिज्म करूं, या जर्नलिज्म में मैंने इतना जो एक्सपीरियंस लिया हुआ, इतने स्कैम एक्सपोज किए हुए हैं, उसका कहीं ना कहीं यूटिलाइज करके एक बड़े पर्दे पर लाए। और OTT का देखिए एक फ़ायदा भी होता है कि उसको बहुत सिंप्लीफाई और एंटरटेनिंग वे में प्रेजेंट करके एक मासेस तक पहुंचाते हैं, और जिससे समझना भी आसान होता है। देन मैंने सोनी लिव के साथ का ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ, जो सीरीज़ आपने देखी थी, जो मेरी किताब है तेलगी है रिपोर्टर्स डायरी, जिसका भी एक हिंदी और इंग्लिश में हार्पर कॉलिंस ने पब्लिश भी की है उसको वापस से, तो वो मैंने किया। उसके बाद में अगला जो मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली कि इंडिया के एक बहुत बड़े सबसे अमीर आदमी के घर के बाहर एक्सप्लोजिव मिला था मुंबई में, आप लोग जानते होंगे, जिसमें पुलिस वाले अरेस्ट हुए थे। तो उस पर मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी, क्रिमिनल्स इन यूनिफॉर्म। दैट बुक ऑल्सो एक्चुअली बिकेम वेरी हिट, और उस पर भी एक वेब सीरीज़ बन रही है, वहाँ उसके भी राइट्स बिक गए। फिर तीसरी मैंने लिखी शीना बोरा मर्डर केस पे, जो मैंने कवर किया हुआ था, वो भी काफ़ी सेंसेशनल था। आपके इनफैक्ट कोलकाता का उसमें बहुत बड़ा एंगल है यहाँ से, तो वो मैंने की, और वो भी बिक गया। और चौथी मैंने लिखी थी रंगा बिल्ला, ये 1978 के बहुत बड़े क्रिमिनल्स हुआ करते थे इस ज़माने के। तो 4 मैंने किताबें लिखी थी, चारों पर वेब सीरीज़ एक पर बन चुकी है, और बाकी 3 पर बन रही है। तो मुझे लगा कि मैं अपनी जो बात है वो एक नए तरीके से, एक नए प्लेटफॉर्म OTT के थ्रू कर सकता हूँ, और एक लार्जर उसमें जा सकता हूँ। जैसे तेलगी की जो रिपोर्ट है, ये है सिर्फ हिंदी में नहीं है, हिंदी के अलावा 4 से 5 और भाषाओं के अंदर भी लैंग्वेज में है, तो या तमिल वगैरह में भी है। और इनफैक्ट नवंबर में जो उसका जो 2nd वॉल्यूम आने वाला है, उसमें देयर इज अ कैरेक्टर ऑल्सो, एक एक्टर है जो मेरा कैरेक्टर भी प्ले करेगा, जो जिसमें आपको धीरे से पता चलेगा किस तरह से स्कैम था, वो मैंने एक्सपोज किया। तो इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ जर्नलिज्म ओनली, जो मैं टीवी पे दिख रहा है वगैरह, वो वही चीज़ जो न्यूज़ के बजाय हम थोड़े एंटरटेनिंग तरीके से बता रहे हैं, लेकिन लोगों को पता चले कि सच्चाई क्या थी और इस ज़माने में क्या हुआ था। और OTT पे जो सीरीज़ चल रहा है, एक तरह से आप मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री के तौर पे उसे देख के चलिए। एक ज़माने में जर्नलिज्म को बोलते थे कि जर्नलिज्म इज़ अ हिस्ट्री रिटन इन हरी, बट आज की तारीख में अगर आप हर्षद मेहता का स्कैम आपको देखना हो, तो आप पढ़ने के बजाय जो उसकी OTT पर जो दिखाया गया था, उसके हिसाब से आप उसको कनेक्ट करते हैं। तो मुझे लगा कि मैंने जो जर्नलिज्म किया और जितना एक्सपीरियंस है, उसको मैं किस तरह से सामने ला सकता हूँ। तो मैंने सोचा कि मैं बुक्स लिखूंगा और उसके बाद में करूँगा। तो 4 बुक्स हैं, 2 बुक्स मेरी अब अगले 6 महीने में और आने वाली हैं, नई है। मोस्टली मैं क्राइम और इन्वेस्टिगेशन पे लिखता हूँ, क्योंकि मैंने उसी में काम किया हुआ है। और OTT पे जब भी हम जाते हैं, तो समझिए कि आप इतने बड़े ऑडियंस तक पहुँच जाते हैं कि OTT है पर जो वेब सीरीज़ है वो आपकी बुक्स को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करती है, जो बुक है वो आपके OTT को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करता है। और मेन है कि जर्नलिज्म जो है वो किसी न किसी माध्यम से बचा रहता है, और एटलीस्ट लोगों को पता चलता है कि जर्नलिस्ट जो होते हैं उन्होंने एक ज़माने में कितनी मेहनत की थी, और एक स्कैम को बाहर लाने में कितना हुआ था। स्कैम 1992 आपने देखेंगे तो सुचिता दलाल ने जो एक्सपोज किया था हर्षद मेहता का स्कैम, पता चलता उसने किस लेवल पे मेहनत की थी। अब भी आप देखेंगे तो मुझे पता था कि किस तरह से मुझे थ्रेट आते थे, क्योंकि पुलिस वाले ही अरेस्ट हो रहे थे। तो मेरे घर के नीचे पुलिस की ऐसे गाड़ियाँ वगैरह घूमती थी, एंड आई एम फ्रॉम अ वेरी मॉडरेट बैकग्राउंड। मतलब मैं मुंबई में जब तब रहता था, तो एक छोटा सा घर था 200 स्क्वायर फीट का, और वो ऐसा था जिसमें टॉयलेट भी बाहर था। और मेरे पास तब भी मैं जाके बुक्स लिखता था, मेरे पास लैपटॉप नहीं था, डेस्कटॉप नहीं था। वो साइबर कैफ़े का ज़माना हुआ करता था 2003-4 में। तो मैंने साइबर कैफ़े में रोज़ 2-2 घंटे बैठ के वो किताब लिखी थी जो आपने देखी है। तो मेरे कहने का बोले कहने का तात्पर्य ये है कि यू डोंट नीड एक्चुअली, आपको बहुत फैसिलिटीज़ और उस सब चीज़ों की ज़रूरत नहीं। अगर आपको कुछ करने का जज्बा है और आप करना चाहते हैं, देन अलग अलग मतलब शॉर्टकमिंग्स है लाइफ की, उसके साथ में भी आप कर सकते हैं। सिर्फ ये कि आपको वो करने का एक जज्बा है, वो होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और वो आपको कहीं ना कहीं से निकाल के लाना पड़ेगा। और इसीलिए इस तरह के जो एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट वगैरह हैं आपके, ये लोग इसमें बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं। मैं हमेशा जाता हूँ तो मुझे कहा जाता है कि अरे देखिए प्रैक्टिकल नहीं होता है वगैरह, प्रैक्टिकल कम होता है, बाहर प्रैक्टिकल होता है। बट आप एक समझिए कि थ्योरी और प्रैक्टिकल इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट होता है। और जब तक आप थ्योरी और इन प्रिंसिपल आप उसमें नहीं समझ पाएंगे, स्ट्रांग नहीं हो पाएंगे, तब आगे जाके आप प्रैक्टिकल भी स्ट्रांग नहीं कर पाएंगे। आपको पिज़्ज़ा का आप ऑर्डर करते तो आपको चीज़ पता है और वो उसकी टॉपिंग्स के हिसाब से आप पैसे देते हैं, लेकिन हम सोचते नहीं कि एकदम नीचे एक ब्रेड होता है और उस ब्रेड के बिना वो पिज़्ज़ा नहीं बन पाएगा। तो हम जब इस तरह के इंस्टीट्यूट में करते हैं तो इंस्टीट्यूट हमको एक बेस प्रोवाइड करता है। मैं खुद कई सारे कॉलेजेस में पढ़ाता हूँ और बाकी जगह जाता हूँ, तो इस तरह का आपका जो इंस्टीट्यूट है वो बेस प्रोवाइड करता है। इनफैक्ट मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि उन्होंने कहा कि वी कैन बी कंट्रोवर्शियल। आपने ये किया, बहुत कम इंस्टीट्यूट एक्चुअली हैं जो इस तरह के खुल के बात कर सकते हैं, और आई एम श्योर कि यहाँ होता है। मैंने मुंबई तक में ये फील नहीं किया। आपको इनफैक्ट खुद के लिए एक बार ताली बजानी चाहिए यहाँ पे।
हम अभी आएंगे एक थी शीना बोरा के किताब के बारे में बोलेंगे, लेकिन उससे पहले एक वीडियो कल हम खोज के निकाल के रखे हैं। हम होमवर्क अभी तक करते हैं, जर्नलिज्म छोड़ दिए हैं, वो वीडियो एक बार चलाते हैं।
कि श्यामवर राय की गिरफ्तारी है, वहाँ से कहानी शुरू होती है। और उसमें जो पुलिस का वर्जन था वो हमें लगा कि काफ़ी फिल्मी था, क्योंकि एक व्यक्ति चल रहा है सड़क पर जहाँ वो रहता है, उसके अलावा 2 पुलिस स्टेशन का जुरिडिक्शन क्रॉस करके जा रहा है। सडनली पुलिस की उसे जीप दिखती है, फिर वो डर जाता है, भागता है, पुलिस दबोच लेती है, फिर अचानक इतना सब खुल जाता है। ये पुलिस का जो वर्जन था ना, वो हमें लगा कहीं ना कहीं लगा कि काफ़ी फिल्मी है। और मैं आपको बता दूं, कहानी जो होती है वो एफआईआर के सेक्शंस के बीच में नहीं होती है, चार्जशीट के पन्नों के बीच में नहीं होती है, प्रेस क्लब में होने वाली गॉसिप्स के बीच में भी कहानी नहीं होती है। कहानी उसके बियॉन्ड जाकर ढूंढनी पड़ती है। जैसे आप कह रहे थे कि किताब में कितने सारे पन्ने हैं, मैं आपको बता दूं तकरीबन 16,000 पेजेस को मैंने पढ़ा है, जिसके अंदर एफआईआर थी, मल्टीपल रिमांड एप्लीकेशन थी, मल्टीपल चार्जशीट थी, गवाहों के बयान थे, पुलिस वालों के बयान थे, फॉरेंसिक की रिपोर्ट्स थी, मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स थी, बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज़ वगैरह थे। जब इतना सब खंगालने के बाद में, अलग अलग कसौटी पे कसने के बाद में, जब
और तीन किताबें भी थी और 3 किताबें भी
हाँ
थी।
किताबें भी थी। जैसे राकेश मारिया जो पूर्व पुलिस कमिश्नर है, उनकी किताब का इसमें रेफरेंस था। फिर इंद्राणी की जो बेटी है विधि, उसने किताब लिखी थी डेविल्स डॉटर, उसका भी उसमें रेफरेंस है। तो मल्टीपल इतने तकरीबन 16,000 पेजेस के आसपास। आज भी मेरे घर में बहुत बड़ा एक डब्बा पड़ा हुआ है जिसमें इतने सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स रखे हैं। और जब मैंने प्रोडक्शन हाउस को दिया था तो किताब के अलावा इतना बड़ा मैंने डब्बा उसको दिया था, ये बोल के कि आगे कभी भी आपके पास कुछ लीगल अटेंशन अगर आता है तो ये चीज़ है, उसको ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि ये किताब लिखना अपने आप में थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग था और एकदम टाइट रोप वॉकिंग था, क्योंकि ये केस अभी भी चल रहा है। और चूंकि केस चल रहा है तो किताब इस तरह से लिखी गई, और किताब या लेखक कुछ भी इस तरह का दावा नहीं करते हैं, या किताब प्रयास भी नहीं करती है कि ऑनगोइंग जो केस है, मौजूदा केस है, उसको किसी भी तरह से प्रभावित किया जाए। तो इतने तमाम बैलेंसेस को बना के किताब लिखना वो अपने आप में मेरे लिए बहुत चैलेंजिंग था। और शायद वही वजह है कि इसकी जो लेंथ है वो हो गया। और बहुत बार आप सुनी सुनाई और मल्टीपल सोर्सेज से आने वाली जो बातें होती हैं, आप उसको पड़ताल करते हैं। अगर हर बात सुनने जाने वाले को हम सीधे सीधे दर्ज करने लगे, पता चला कि बाढ़ आ जाएगी इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन में, तो कहीं जगह पे फिल्ट्रेशन की भी ज़रूरत होती है। लेकिन जितनी भी ज़रूरी चीज़ें थी वो सारी इस किताब में अकोमोडेट की गई है। यहाँ तक ये भी अकोमोडेट किया गया था कि एक ऑल्टरनेटिव थियरी क्या चल रही थी, कि क्या कुछ ऐसा हुआ था जो शायद किताबों में या डॉक्यूमेंट्स में कहीं दर्ज नहीं है लेकिन उस तरह का भी हुआ सकता था। तो उन तमाम चीज़ का जो प्रयास है वो इसमें किया गया था। और चूंकि केस इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड था और इतना उलझन था, अगर आपको याद हो कि साल 2015 के अंदर एक केस खुला था। साल 2015 में भारत के सामने 2 बड़े सवाल थे जो हर भारतीय पूछ रहा था। उस पर दूसरे नंबर का सवाल था वो इस केस से जुड़ा हुआ था। इस वजह से ये था कि लगातार किताब लिखने के दौरान में बहुत सारी दिक्कतें भी आई, बट फाइनली विद द हेल्प ऑफ बहुत सारे लोग थे, मेरे प्रकाशक थे विनोद कापड़ी, उन्होंने काफ़ी मदद की, शहादत और राम कुमार वगैरह बहुत सारे लोगों का इसमें योगदान रहा है जिन्होंने इसमें मुझे सहयोग भी दिया था। एक चीज मैं बता दूं, उस दिन जो मैंने शर्ट और पैंट पहना था आज भी मैंने वही पहना हुआ है, वीडियो में आपने देखा होगा। दूसरी एक चीज, जो जर्नलिज्म के स्टूडेंट है तो मुझे टीच करने से थोड़ा मुझे अंदर से इच्छा हो रही है कि उस बंदे ने जो इंटरव्यू ले रहा था, मेरा दोस्त ही है, उसने एक क्वेश्चन, फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन हो सकता था, उसने नहीं पूछा। और आप लोगों को हमेशा सोचना चाहिए कि हर जवाब में एक फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन निकलता है। जैसे उसे मैंने कहा उसे कि 2015 में भारत के सामने 2 ही सवाल थे कि सबसे बड़े 2 सवाल थे, उसमें दूसरे नंबर का सवाल ये था कि शीना बोरा को किसने मारा। उसने पहला वाले के बारे में पूछा नहीं। तो मैं आपको बता दूं 2015 में देश के सामने पहले नंबर पे जो क्वेश्चन था वो ये था कि कटप्पा ने बाहुबली को क्यों मारा। उस साल में फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी।
That, see, it shows the tongue in cheek, the humor and the serene surface. इसके पीछे there is a mind that is working overtime. तो ये शीना बोरा का केस जब आपने लिया, if I'm not wrong, the real name is Priya Bora, isn't it? पड़ी बोरा ना इंद्राणी का घर का नाम था, पोड़ी नाम छिलो। हाँ, so you must have been to Kolkata at that point of time because a lot of things were, मतलब इंद्राणी मुखर्जी का early career तो it was traced back to Kolkata, yeah.
इनफैक्ट वो मैं जवाब दूं उसके पहले बता दूं कि इंद्राणी का जो INX कंपनी का जो पीरियड था, उसका पहले ये उसमें पार्ट थे और उसके बाद में मैं उसका पार्ट था। मतलब ही वॉज एक्चुअली पार्ट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर कंपनी न्यूज़ चैनल का जब इंद्राणी और पीटर ने ज्वाइन नहीं किया था। उसके पहले के पीरियड में ये थे और इंद्राणी और पीटर ने जब छोड़ दिया उसके बाद के जो पीरियड में मैंने ज्वाइन किया था, तो उसके बीच में ये लोग थे। ये काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग था बिकॉज 2012 में ये किलिंग हुई थी और 2015 में इसको हमने ढूंढ के निकाला। और पहले 2-4 दिन तक तो हम सब जर्नलिस्ट कंफ्यूज थे और इतना कन्फ्यूजन था कि पहले बताया गया कि जो शीना बोरा है वो इंद्राणी की बहन है। एक दिन बाद 2 दिन बाद मालूम पड़ता कि नहीं वो उसकी बेटी है। फिर धीरे धीरे पता चलता है कि उसके पहले एक पति था, फिर एक और पता चलता है कि उसका एक और पति था। देन 1 हफ्ते तक हम मीडिया वाले एक्चुअली कंफ्यूज थे, पता नहीं था कि किसके कितने नंबर ऑफ पति है, किसके कितने नंबर ऑफ पत्नी है, किससे हुई औलाद कौन है और कौन किससे प्यार कर रहा है और कौन किसके साथ रहना चाह रहा है। ये बहुत बड़ा कन्फ्यूजन एक्चुअली में था। वो कन्फ्यूजन को सुलझाना जो था ना वो बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज एक्चुअली में था। तो चूँकि मैंने ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से पूरा कवर किया था मुंबई से लेके बाकी जगह पे, तो मुझे थोड़ी आइडिया थी कि, और प्लस मैंने उसी कंपनी में काम भी बाद में किया हुआ था एक ज़माने में, तो मुझे पता था कि वो तमाम चीज़ कैसे हुई उसमें। लेकिन सबसे चैलेंजिंग चीज़ आपको मैं बताऊँ ये थी कि एक माँ के कैरेक्टर के बारे में लिखना। हम लोगों ने माँ के बारे में अच्छी बातें बहुत सारी सुनी हैं और उस पर फिल्में बनी हैं, पोइट्रीज लिखी गई हैं, आर्टिकल्स लिखे गए हैं, हमारे पुराण ग्रंथों के अंदर भी कहा गया है कि माँ अच्छी है। माँ को अच्छा लिखना बहुत आसान बात है बिकॉज हम उसी पलते बढ़ते वैसे हमने देखा है। लेकिन एक माँ इस तरह से मर्डर हो सकती है और उसको लिखना और दिखाना जो था वो सबसे डिफ़िकल्ट और सबसे चैलेंजिंग पार्ट था। इनफैक्ट आपको मैं बता दूं कि मैंने लॉ भी किया हुआ है 2020 में ही, मतलब मैंने लॉ कंप्लीट किया। और तो जब लॉ कर रहा था तो LLB कर रहा था, तो उसके दौरान में फील्ड विजिट होती है तो जेल में जाने का मौका मिला। तो बाय कोइंसिडेंस मैं उस जेल में गया जिसमें इंद्राणी थी और बाद में सेकेंड विजिट में उस जेल में गया जिसमें पीटर मुखर्जी बंद थे। हाँ, दोनों भाईखला में ही थे। वन वॉज भाईखला जेल जिसमें इंद्राणी थी और उसी के पास में एक आर्थर रोड जेल था जहाँ पर पीटर मुखर्जी बंद था। तो मुझे 2-3 चीज़ों का बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ था। क्योंकि मैंने PhD की हुई थी तो मुझे रिसर्च करना आता था क्योंकि मैंने लॉ किया हुआ था तो मुझे लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट सारे पता थे, क्योंकि मैंने इतने साल तक जर्नलिज्म किया था और इस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज़ को मैंने ग्राउंड जीरो से कवर किया था, तो आसानी हो गई थी। जैसे मैंने इंटरव्यू में बताया कि मैंने 16,000 पेजेस के डॉक्यूमेंट पढ़ने के बाद में एक 500 पेजेस की मैंने एक 400 पेज की मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी। तो 16,000 पेज का इस तरह की किताब लिखने में दूसरा क्या होता है डिफ़िकल्टीज़ की, आपको बहुत सारा लीगल अटेंशन हो जाता है, डिफेमेशन के केस हो सकते हैं, अलग अलग तरह के केस हो सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी था कि फैक्चुअली हर चीज़ के बारे में आपको करेक्ट रहना बहुत ज़रूरी था। तो इसलिए इतने सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स से लेके हमने पूरे पढ़े कि उसको बताया गया। जर्नलिज्म में एक बात आपको हमेशा ध्यान रखिए कि डिफेमेशन आएगा, प्रेशर आएगा, तमाम चीज़ें आएंगी, लेकिन आप फैक्चुअली करेक्ट है और अपने साथ में आपने जो बोल रहे हैं उसके पीछे एविडेंस है, आपको सब्सटेंशिएट करने की कोई भी चीज़ें अगर आपके पास है देन उसमें डरने की कोई बात नहीं होती। आप किसी के खिलाफ भी किसी तरह की जो रिपोर्ट है वो आप हमेशा कर सकते हैं। इस मामले में भी यही हुआ था। ये तमाम जो लोग हैं ये लोग बहुत पैसे वाले लोग हैं, आराम से इजीली लॉयर्स वगैरह अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं। उसके बावजूद ये जानते हुए भी मैंने किताब लिखी थी। मुझे पता था कि अगर मैं फैक्ट के ऊपर अपने आप पे टिका रहूँगा और सही तरह का जर्नलिज्म जो करूँगा तो फिर मुझे दिक्कत नहीं आएगी। और यही वजह था कि ये जो किताब मैंने जब लिखी थी तो इसके काफ़ी इसकी भी चर्चा हुई, इसका भी इंग्लिश वर्जन भी आ रहा है और इसके ऊपर भी एक वेब सीरीज़ बन रही है जो बहुत फेमस डायरेक्टर हैं वो बनाने जा रहे हैं उसके ऊपर। तो ये किताब लगभग उस तरह का था जैसे तेलगी वाली भी थी, एक जर्नलिस्ट की जर्नी थी जो एंटायर जैसे एक एक चीज़ें एक्सपोज हो रही है, जैसे चीज़ें विजिट करते हैं। और उसका यहाँ बहुत बड़ा एंगल था इंद्राणी का, क्योंकि इंद्राणी मुखर्जी जो जिस शीना की जो मदर थी उसका शुरुआत लाइफ की होती है गुवाहाटी में, फिर वो शिलोंग में जाती है, उसके बाद वो वहाँ से कोलकाता आती है और कोलकाता को उसने काफ़ी टाइम तक यहाँ बेस अपना बनाया हुआ था और यहाँ से उसने अपनी जो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ की शुरुआत है वो की थी। मतलब वो शायद 21-22 साल की
वो
थी।
एचआर कंपनी चलाती थी यहाँ
HR
पे,
कंपनी
56
उसने
बुक के ऊपर। हाँ,
तो उसने यहाँ से उसकी शुरुआत की थी और उसके बाद कोलकाता में उसका बेस जब बन गया फिर उसको लगा कि एक स्टेप और आगे जाना चाहिए, फिर उसने मुंबई को माइग्रेट किया था और उसके बाद उसका रेस्ट ऑफ द लाइफ मुंबई में था। तो जब इसमें भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हुआ तो उसके जो सेकंड नंबर का जो हस्बैंड था संजीव खन्ना, वो खुद भी अभी भी कोलकाता में था और उसके लिए मुंबई पुलिस की टीम कोलकाता आई थी, उसने उसको अरेस्ट भी किया और बहुत सारे एविडेंस वगैरह है वो भी गैदर करके वापस लेकर गए।
So, a man with such a variety of experience, ये two things I want students to take away from this. One is the legal aspect, कि आप इस तरह का कोई चीज़ लिख रहे हो तो कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट हो सकता है, डिफेमेशन हो सकता है, दूसरा कोई लाइबल हो सकता है, कोई थर्ड पार्टी इंटरजेक्शन हो सकता है, वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट पे आप अगर स्टेप ओवर करोगे तो उसका ऊपर आपके ऊपर केस चल सकता है, PIL हो सकता है। तो ये सारा मतलब इसको ध्यान में रख के उनको लिखना पड़ता है। तो एक चीज़ तो अभी आप ये जो किताबें आप लिख रहे हैं तो बॉलीवुड का एक्सपीरियंस तो कुछ अलग ही हुआ होगा। अभी आप बोल रहे थे कि हिंदी किताब वो हम चाहेंगे आप थोड़ा शेयर करें। और क्या कुछ सालों बाद डू वी सी मिस्टर डॉक्टर संजीव सिंह राइटिंग अ बुक बॉलीवुड के अजीब किस्से?
बिल्कुल, एक्चुअली मैंने सोचा नहीं था, इन्होंने अब आइडिया दे दिया, मैं पक्का लिखूंगा और उसका लॉन्च यहीं पर आके करूंगा, इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर आके। तो हम जैसे बात कर रहे थे कि बॉलीवुड के बारे में, पहले किस्सा ये था, हम लोग थोड़ी देर पहले बात कर रहे थे कि मैं किताब एक्चुअली में हिंदी में लिखता हूँ, सोचता हिंदी में हूँ, मैं हिंदी मीडियम में पढ़ा हूँ तो हिंदी में किताब लिखता हूँ और देन उसके बाद मेरी किताब है हिंदी में, कोई पढ़ता नहीं है, कोई ज़्यादा जानता नहीं है, मतलब उसकी मार्केटिंग जो डिज़ायर्ड मार्केटिंग है वो हिंदी में नहीं होती है। फिर वो किताब इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट होती है, फिर उसकी बहुत हैवी ड्यूटी मार्केटिंग प्रमोशनल चीज़ें होती है, इंग्लिश की रीडरशिप भी बहुत अच्छी होती है, बहुत ज़बरदस्त फीडबैक्स वगैरह आते हैं। जब वो फीडबैक आते हैं देन OTT और प्रोडक्शन हाउस तो उस किताब के राइट्स खरीद लेता है और फिर उस पर हिंदी में एक वेब सीरीज़ बनाता है। मतलब मेरी हिंदी की चीज़ है, उसको OTT बनने के लिए वाया आनी पड़ती है, बिकॉज हमारे पे जो बॉलीवुड काम करता है वो बनाएगा भले हिंदी में, लेकिन उसका जो सोचने का जो पैटर्न और तमाम चीज़ें उसमें होता है। इनफैक्ट अभी भी ज़्यादातर लोग वो रोमन स्क्रिप्ट में लिखी हुई हिंदी पढ़ते हैं, देवनागरी वाली नहीं पढ़ते हैं। तो इस तरीके का चीज़ होता है। और उसमें एक और इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, जैसे मैं किताब लिखता हूँ और उसके बाद में वहाँ पे उसमें अगला स्टेज होता है स्क्रीन प्ले लिखना। तो उस वक्त बॉलीवुड के 4 राइटर्स की टीम बैठती है जिसको मुझे समझाना पड़ता है, और लोग छोटी छोटी माइन्यूट डिटेल्स वगैरह पूछते हैं, और उसके बाद उसका स्क्रीन प्ले है वो लिखा जाता है। और बॉलीवुड के बारे में बता दूं कि वहाँ पे बहुत मतलब पॉलिटिकली या बाकी इंफॉर्मेशन के लेवल पे बहुत ज़्यादा लोग अवेयर नहीं होते हैं, तो मुझे एकदम बेसिक चीज़ से बताना पड़ता है। बेसिक चीज़ से मतलब अगर मैं आपको बताऊं कि पिज़्ज़ा होता है तो चीज़ होता है, तो मुझे बताना पड़ेगा कि गाय हमारी माता है, गाय दूध देती है, दूध से दही बनता है, दही से चीज़ बनता है, चीज़ ऐसे होता है। फिर मुझे गेहूं से लेके वो ब्रेड बनने तक का प्रोसेस बताना पड़ता है। ये इस तरह का लंबा एक प्रोसेस एक्चुअली में उसमें हो जाता है।
और एक चीज़ है जो उनके साथ बात करने में हमको मालूम हुआ, ये जो बोले ना कि हम जर्नलिस्टिक फॉर्मेट में लिखते हैं, यू प्लीज़ स्टूडेंट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस, ही राइट्स इन फर्स्ट पर्सन, जैसे एक रिपोर्टर का अकाउंट होता है। तो मीनल मैम नीचे पूछ रही थी कि आप जब लिखते हैं तो आपका लिखने का स्टाइल क्या अलग होता है, तो उसने बोला नहीं, मैं एक जर्नलिस्ट जैसे लिखते हैं मैं वैसे ही लिखता रहता हूँ। इट्स अ फर्स्ट पर्सन अकाउंट, क्योंकि ये मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, ये मेरा अकाउंट है, तो ये so you all should also start writing in your first persons in a very active format. So it was a this session could have continued for 2-3 more hours, but we have papers to present, and we have another session. The session chair is also here, so we can't delay any further. We have to end this session here with a lot of regret, and with हम लोग उनसे एक वादा लेना चाहेंगे कि हम अगर एक दिन का एक वर्कशॉप अरेंज करते हैं तो आप टाइम निकाल के आएंगे यहाँ पे हमारे बीच, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के बीच। स्टूडेंट्स, डू यू वांट हिम टू कम बैक? सो द स्टूडेंट्स हैव गिवन द वोट।
सेविंग्स अकाउंट में कॉन्फिडेंस जमा करा के जा रहा हूँ, वापस इस स्टेज पे आऊँगा।
एब्सोल्युटली, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। Yeah, so there will be another interview that will be done by the SNU Chronicle team upstairs in the studio, and over to you, Jhumur, for the concluding session.
Journalist turned author, we listen from a person with a variety of experience. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Singh, for this very engaging session. And thank you, Professor Arindam Basu, for this wonderful moderation. So Arindam Basu is also an author. So he wants to present his latest book to Dr. Sanjay Singh.
आप लोग 10 सेकेंड और रुकिएगा, मुझे रिटर्न गिफ्ट देने की आदत है। हमारे यहाँ पे हिंदी में मजाक में लोग बोलते कि तुमने मुझे एक अपनी पोइट्री सुनाई ना, कविता सुनाई, मैं भी बदला लूँगा, और मैं भी मेरी एक कविता तुम्हें सुना के जाऊँगा। तो मैं भी रिटर्न गिफ्ट देते हुए जा रहा हूँ।
Thank you so much.
इनफैक्ट इसके अलावा मैंने बाकी कॉपीज़ लाई हुई है, मैं आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी को और आपके डिपार्टमेंट को देना चाहूँगा। मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग लाइब्रेरीज में रखें, और जब भी स्टूडेंट को रेफरेंस के लिए चाहिए होगा प्लीज़ यूज़ कीजिए।
Thank you, sir. With this positive note, we are ending our this session, but already our session chair, they have arrived. All many paper presenters are already here. So today we have 4 academic sessions, 2 physical and 2 online sessions. And so we are going to start our first academic session. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning, all dignitaries, respected professors, scholars. I welcome you all to the first academic session of day 2 of the second Media Conclave organized by the Mass Communication and Journalism Department, Sister Nivedita University. This session will be chaired by Mr. Snehashish Shur, sir. Mr. Shur is a veteran journalist who has covered almost all national and international events for Doordarshan. He has been awarded multiple times in the field of journalism. Currently, he is the president of Press Club, Kolkata. Along with his journalistic career, he is a renowned media educator, teaching for decades in prestigious institutions such as University of Calcutta, Jadavpur University, Vishwabharati University, and Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Tenkanal. He has authored many books and published multiple papers. We welcome you, sir. I would like to request senior faculty Orandam sir and Shoykut sir to felicitate Snehaji Shu sir. This session will contain very interesting and thought-provoking papers. We look forward to a very enriching session. The first paper of this session is Beyond Taboos, the Cinematic Exploration of Bodily Malfunction. It will be presented by Richa Gupta, who is a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University. Can you please come up now? Over to you, sir.
Ma'am, would you kindly be seated? Would you name the two other paper presenters so that all of them can come on stage and then we can begin?
I will do that. The next paper is Myth and the Modern City, narrating Kolkata in Sujoy Ghosh's movie Kahani, which will be presented by Sudesha Das, faculty, Sister Nivedita University. Ma'am, please come up on stage. The next paper is Misrepresentation and Underrepresentation of LGBTQIA+ community in contemporary commercial Hindi cinema, an analysis of the film Chandigarh Kare Ashiki, to be presented by Sushmita Datta and Dr. Manali Bhattacharya from St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. Without much delay, I would request Snehaji sir to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Hello and good morning to you all. Distinguished professors and other faculty members, paper presenters, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I must congratulate the team SNU, especially the Journalism and Mass Communication Department, for holding such seminars. And it is not for the first time, and I'm also not coming for the first time. This effort is very important in a teaching learning process. And the entire teaching learning process cannot be confined within the four walls of the classroom. Especially the subject we deal with requires a lot of exposures outside, like exposures from outside, which I think a basic purpose of this kind of academic discourses. The
academic papers bring us knowledge, familiarize us with the newer developments in the field, which are very, very important. We may be a student of post-graduation or undergraduate, but we need to be exposed to the newer thoughts. No doubt there are some papers which you may not be quite comfortable with because they deal with advanced knowledge and skill, and they are supposed to deal with advanced knowledge and skill. But each one of us should be exposed to them so that the word which seems to be not familiar with us, the concept which seems to be new to us, we can go back and find out, do our own research. Friends, the challenge is we need to explore ourselves in the newer areas. Journalism and mass communication is a subject which has gone through a sea change over the years, in last 50 years or so. Even when we started the subject 30 years back, little more than that actually, and what is being taught here today has got heaven and hell difference. We all require to update ourselves, so the students are required to newer areas related to core and fringe areas of journalism and mass communication. Yes, I agree that some of the concepts will not be very understandable to you at this stage. But I reiterate that you should continue with your own research, own studies, own findings, and be familiar with it. Because when you go ahead in the ladder, somebody picks up that subject, it's not new to you, you will be able to recall that, yes, I have heard it in that seminar, and then I did some research, and you will be able to say something on that. As a student of journalism, we are required to keep abreast with what is happening. And if we do not know what's happening in our areas of study, what is the new, then we'll be failing in our duty and we will not be able to deliver. It will be our problem. I take this as a great opportunity that these papers are presented. I have come here to learn also because these are newer areas which are coming. And I told you that journalism is a subject where you cannot confine yourselves within the core areas of the subject. There are fringe areas, and the fringe areas are expanding day by day. Now the culture, media and culture, this you can call today a core area, or you can also say maybe in the fringe area, but that fringe area is an added area, not that an alien place and it's not far away from the core. You see, as we all know, media has got two components. One is content, that means what the message, what I want to say. And another is carriage. How do I send it to you? Through television, through radio, through newspaper, through internet, through blog, through anything. I mean, the carriage, the vehicle which carries. And there is something else. Along with the content, there is something called technique or format. How do we package to present before you? How do I bring it to you? It's very boring, it's very attractive, whether it is able to catch your attention. So, media, the message, the content on one side, content is the king. Then, you know, I can quote that famous saying, medium is the message. And media is the vehicle which acts as a carriage, and the content being presented, the presentation technique of the content is known either the technique or the format. This is also very important because there are a lot of things which are brought before us. How do we get attracted? First, my attention has to be drawn, then I must understand, then I must preserve, then only I'll be able to recollect. Now here comes, if we say the topic, you can understand that media and culture both are intermingled. One has an effect to the other. The media is going to create an impact to culture, and culture is something by which the media outputs are being formed. I have a cultural background, so whatever I produce, obviously I carry that baggage. And I present before you, you have a cultural background, and if I cannot adapt to that cultural background, it will be misfired, you will not get it at all. So influence or media or audience is something very important for media, which, creates its impact, an impact to the audience. This is very important. And the audience is culturally based, they have a cultural background. And the media, the people who are, there are people behind the media, they also have some cultural background. So obviously, we understand there is a given definition of culture. I'm not going into that. It's basically the milieu, it's basically the background, it's basically the belief. And it may not be, it may be of individual, it may be of a group. So it's media, culture. Now, culture is not very straight. There could be film, there could be print, there could be something else. Now, basically, these are basically the three films, the three papers. The first one is also on film as a vehicle, as a medium. Second one, very particularly, and the third one is also film. Now, film is a very strong vehicle and very impactful. When I say strong, very impactful. Now, here the paper presenters have chosen their ways of showing that the content being transmitted through a movie, what are the nuances of the content. They reviewed the content and they come to a conclusion. Obviously, we'll discuss all their papers and you are free to ask questions. I will also take part in the discussion in whatever way possible. Now, this is not my area of forte, but still, since as a journalist, when you are put to one assignment, you have to do your assignment. But I believe that they have done their cultural studies. They know, and their supervisors and their co-authors have done a good job, and we look forward to them. I call upon the first speaker, Richa Gupta. The topic is Beyond Taboos, the Cinematic Exploration of Bodily Malfunctions. Ma'am, you are from this university? Yes, yes. Oh, again, let me tell you. English, I'll take just 30 seconds from you, ma'am. English is a subject where from lot of people are advancing in culture studies, gender studies, and lot of other areas, including human rights, including other things. So it's good that this kind of seminars give us an opportunity to hear each other. The social sciences are, the subjects of social sciences form a bouquet. Now, this bouquet is very important, and these days, with the new education policy, when you have a lot of flexibility, CBCS and all others, when you take one major from this area, one minor from the other area, so it's, it's a bouquet system and maybe a cafeteria system, the way it's choice best. So we are very happy that we have somebody from the English department, sorry, of this university to present the paper. Thank you very much, ma'am. I once again welcome Ms. Richa Gupta.
Before I begin, I have a query. How do we change the slides? Do I prompt you? So may I begin? Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My introduction has already been given, so I directly come to the topic of my paper, that is Beyond Taboos, the cinematic exploration of bodily functions / malfunction films. Okay, so I begin with a speech of Shyam Benegal, and I paraphrase it. It says that filmmakers are not necessarily serious thinkers, they are essentially storytellers. In telling their stories through film, they create cultural works that are largely meant to entertain. These may, on occasion, succeed in providing insights into life and society. So the Hindi film industry, popularly called the Bollywood industry, has remained within the mold of this conventional theme of action, drama, and romance, and has towed this very line. However, around a decade back, it saw an aberration. So it was seen that a new genre of cinema surfaced, featuring realistic themes concerning human body. This genre contained films that dared to broach topics related to bodily functions and dysfunctions, injecting a refreshing perspective into arena of conformist Bollywood. The presence of these movies was marked not only by the sheer numbers, but was indicative of a noteworthy trend in the cinematic landscape worthy of exploration. Oh, it's changed. Yeah. So this research paper intends to do exactly this. By delving into the recent unexpected surge and regularity of Bollywood films centered around body functions and dysfunctions, it aims to uncover the underlying reasons contributing to this trend, shedding light on why this unique genre has regained traction among both filmmakers and audiences alike. Additionally, through a sociological lens, this paper also highlights how these factors pinpoint to a societal shift towards greater acceptance, where previously taboo subjects are now being embraced as a mainstream narratives, thereby challenging societal norms, dismantling stereotypes, and fostering greater understanding. However, I think yeah. However, before I try to explain what I mean by bodily functions and malfunction films, I would like to begin with a disclaimer stating that due to the paucity of any literature review primarily focused on these kind of films, this term of bodily functions and malfunction films is of my own making. I use it as an umbrella term to group all recent Bollywood films whose storyline is intricately linked with the physiological aspect of human body. Hence, this avant-garde cinema deals with topics that has long been considered too sensitive or taboo to be showcased on big screen. Themes like fat shaming, advanced age pregnancy, same-sex love, menstruation, open defecation, transgender relationships, surrogacy, male pattern baldness, reproductive issues, and many such similar issues connected with human anatomy are now part of mainstream cinematic narrative under this genre. During the past decade, we see inundation of films based on operations of human body. Pioneering the movement was the movie Vicky Donor, released in 2012. And avant-garde again, because of its insightful commentary on unconventional issues, this film fearlessly dwelled into the societal taboos surrounding sperm donation against the background of a middle-class settings. It was a compelling story of Vicky, a young man who becomes a sperm donor for financial reasons, navigating the stigmas and familiar pressures associated with this act. Vicky's reservation surrounding the whole concept of sperm donation portrays reservations about being vocal of reproduction-related problems. Moreover, the movie reflects a general mindset where the whole issue of artificial reproduction is treated as something frivolous, worthy of being laughed upon, and to be talked about in hushed tones, or better, to be brushed inside a carpet. Wiki Donor not only showcases the problem, but also provides a comforting resolution. The movie uses clever humor, wordplay, and inner doors to explain the process of sperm donation, engaging the audience, making them more receptive to the underlying message about the importance of reproductive health and challenges faced by infertile couples. The movie manages to turn a potentially sensitive, albeit a taboo subject, into an opportunity for both entertainment and social commentary, which is in fact a hallmark of this genre of bodily functional films. Earning both critical and commercial success, Wiki Donor becomes a trailblazer that inspired the genre of such films. Consequently, over the past decade, we witnessed the emergence of hordes of such films, such as Shubh Mangal Savdhan, Shubh Mangal Zada Savdhan, Bala, Ujra Chaman, Badhai Ho, Badhai Do, just to name a few, and a recently released Oh My God 2. So all these movies try to broach subjects earlier considered too blasphemous. Most of these were not only appreciated, most of these movies, they were not only appreciated, but were heartily embraced by the audiences. Okay, brooding over the factors, there were several reasons that contributed to the recent outpouring of such bodily functions films. First and foremost, this type of cinema offers the audience a novel content viewed from a fresh perspective. This ingenuity of the script captures the audience's attention, making it a compelling choice for filmmakers seeking to break free from traditional storytelling boundaries. A similar example where a uncommon storyline was a major factor in making a movie a hit could be seen in the case of sports theme based films like Lagan, Chak De, and Dangal. Secondly, deployment of humor also plays a pivotal role in the success of these films. By deftly weaving humor into complex and often sensitive subjects, filmmakers employ it as a bridge, fostering a connection between audience and the characters, breaking down barriers of shame or hesitation. Another, and probably a very important reason for their popularity, is the commercial viability, which in fact is, I would say, something new. So this is something which is inspiring producers to venture further in these projects. These content-driven films focusing on cost effectiveness ensures profit for the makers, and they focus on storyline rather than of lavish extravaganza, which has been the trademark of other traditional Bollywood films, is something which scores a brownie point for these films. Furthermore, with varieties of media platform, there comes the realization that the ubiquitous subjects of body ailments can no longer be kept hidden. The fact that these are bound to reach the public through one medium or the other could be a factor encouraging filmmakers to choose to present these to the public as an aesthetic cinematic narrative. Okay. Now, the proliferation of bodily films is noteworthy not only for their numbers, but also for indicating a societal change. For centuries, many societies, including India, have shrouded topics related to human body in secrecy and shame. This silence has perpetuated ignorance and hindered progress, especially in areas of healthcare and personal hygiene. The success of films like Toilet Ek Prem Katha, which explores the issue of sanitation and open defecation, brought to light the problems related to lack of toilets, especially in rural areas, and the dire need for such basic facilities. By portraying the challenges faced by the protagonist and his community, the film catalyzed discussions on the importance of hygiene and access to toilets, leading to widespread awareness. Another such film titled Padman, released in 2018 and based on the life of Arunchalam Muruganathan, a social entrepreneur who revolutionized menstrual hygiene in rural India, boldly tackled the taboo subject of menstruation. This person who's credited for inventing the first vending machine for sanitary pads, and they came out really cheap, almost like for rupees 1 to 1.5 rupees per pad, was a groundbreaking film in this respect. These two films sparked conversations about issues that was always hushed because they were considered too sacrilegious to be openly discussed. Lastly, any trend of popular culture is invariably connected to people's acceptance. Similarly, the frequent and marked success of bodily function film pinpoints towards the audience's acceptance of these bodily issues. The characters of these movies and the struggles can be often perceived by the public as a reflection and maybe of their own experiences or the people they might know. The relatability puts the audience at ease, encouraging them to initiate a conversation, which I think is the very basic element of beginning a change. So this initiates a conversation to come out in the open and confront the problem with a better understanding and compassion. I would like to conclude the surge of Hindi films centered on bodily functions and malfunctions can be attributed to the innovative content, humor-infused storytelling, commercial appeal, and the need to break the societal silence. But more importantly, a more accepting audience. It is therefore we see these films representing a significant evolution of Indian cinema, transcending taboos and contributing to a more enlightened and probably a more understanding and empathetic society. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this presentation. Well, you see, the concept of body is in a postmodern literature and in the studies, in gender studies, women's studies, the concept of body has been a very concern of our discussions, number one. Number two, exposure, portrayal of women in media or film is a topic which has been deliberated since long. How do we portray in every sphere of media, like in advertisement? In advertising for a male product, ma'am, why don't you see it? Yeah. Advertising a male product, we have a use of women. And the exposure, these have already been discussed. But now when this paper tries to tell us that the concept of body, the use of body in film, vis-a-vis the taboo and the acceptance by the society. You see, the societal taboo is a major area of concern. How do these kind of films break this kind of social taboos, and what is the reaction of the society? Now, another area I have found a little interesting when you say that these films are not very expensively made, yet they get good box office. This is another finding, I must say, another observation, I must say, that the social issue, the issue is very important. Yes, there are taboos. Even today, we don't discuss certain things which are so normal, so physical. Even if in these institutions where there are lady students, gentlemen students, lady professors, gentlemen professors, staff, ladies and gentlemen, we do not discuss. And we do not go in support of somebody when suddenly requiring something. Because this is nothing new, but it's a hidden and sick. But now, how far in an advanced, culturally advanced society, the acceptance and breaking of social taboos through this kind of films. While deliberating this, I also have noted this point, ma'am, when you said these films are not extravagant films, but it's getting a good box office. That means the viewers are accepting, the society is accepting. And you have to understand that the viewing has changed. It's no longer a theatrical viewing, movie theater. It's very personal. Now, in my personal sphere, I can decide on my own. It's not that the family screening. So I must decide what I can actually watch. And absolutely there should not be a taboo. I mean, if I have that taboo, that's a different issue. But there should not be taboo in a group viewing or so. If I am correctly interpreted your version, please feel free. Only one thing I would like to comment. Yes, I think you have started your work and you have gone to some extent. And literature survey you will be doing little later. There must be some literature, may not be totally on film, but maybe somewhere else. But very good, and the newer things. Would you like to make any observations, ask any questions, anything? But please feel free. Please do not think that your question may be naive. It may not be naive. We are here in an academic atmosphere. Anything, I mean, my observations could be taken by naive if somebody is very specialist about film studies, culture studies, gender studies, women's studies. But I interpret as I am, and you are free to do it. Whether you are an undergraduate student, postgraduate student, please, asking questions, trying to ask questions is also an experience to be gained in a seminar. The house is open for some time for a question answer. I would like to have question answers just preceded by, followed by the papers, so that you know there is a connect.
No problem, sir.
Please, sir. Please introduce yourself and
Good
be
morning.
brief about your question. Can we have the audience light for
Hello.
the moment?
Good morning, everyone.
Please, you are audible. You are audible.
I am Ankush Paul. I have a very simple question. Could
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
I am a student of Mass Communication Journalism, UG3.
Good, 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 Banash. Carry on.
Could you provide some constructive criticism on how propagation of normalcy of such bodily malfunctions has been criticized and even shamed upon by many segments of the society who refuse to come out of their shell? Also, could you elucidate on how public perception can be changed to contain more acceptance of these factors which society has deemed as sensitive topics?
Okay. So the first part of your question where you were asking for a constructive criticism, and the second part where you are asking for a audience reaction. What is the audience reaction? Just if you could repeat your
The second part was, could you elucidate, like explain on your...
Can we go part by part? Will you kindly repeat the first part once?
Could you provide some constructive criticism on how propagation of normalcy of such bodily malfunctions has been criticized and even shamed upon by many segments of the society who refuse to come out of their shell?
See, this is, I think, requires a little elaborate research into this kind of a topic. And just like Sir said, I would be going into a little deeper into the literature review. But sir, before that, I would like to just state that though I'm a research scholar, this is not my area of interest.
Oh, what is your actual area of research?
It's a course related to my course stream, that is humanities. So I'm working on 18th century literature.
Oh
So-
my God. Great.
So, being a conclave of mass media, I thought of participating in
Right, very good.
with
And selecting a paper which is related to that.
Related
very good,
to.
very
And it
good.
was,
But it's a nice area you have chosen. You can further. I mean, no problem.
Exactly, and I would really look into it once I start writing the paper.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I have to...
Can we go to the second question,
Yeah,
please?
Could you explain on how public perception can be changed to contain more acceptance of these factors which society has deemed as sensitive topics?
See, public acceptance, I think media is a very, very important and a potent tool for changing public perception. We have seen not only the movies, but also like OTT platforms and other social media especially, for example, Twitter and all. So there was like such interesting studies recently where we see the Twitter is being studied to see how it is influencing the perception in all the spheres, cultural, political, social spheres. So yes, again, this is something which needs to be thoroughly studied and explored. But yes, definitely, media is a very, very potent issue and a very potent tool which could influence a person's or audience's reception or perception. As I said, since these films are doing fairly well at the box office, so that's just an indication of showing that these are the mindset is changing to some extent. Yes. To what extent, we have to just wait and watch, because it's just been a decade for an industry which has been so long. Somewhere around 910, we had the first film, the first silent film, Jaan Ara, I think. That was the first film, Indian film we had, a silent movie. So although like we are almost a century or more than that into filmmaking, but yet these kind of films is a very recent and a new phenomena, and we'll have to wait for a while to watch how exactly is it impacting the public.
I can take it, I mean personally, Manoj, I can take it that has there not been accepted, there could have been a protest. Right. There have been films shooting which have been protested by the society. So there were protests in the society. But these were shot, these were released, these were accepted. So things are changing, and that change we also feel. Thank you, Manoj, for your very, very elucidating question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sorry?
Onkush.
Onkush. Oh, sorry, Onkush, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
Can
sir.
we
Thank
go
you,
to the
ma'am.
next person? Thank you, Onkush, for very, very elucidating questions. Please, can we have auditorium lights, please? Can we have another question, please? Anything you feel, please feel free to ask. Anybody? Any volunteer? Please, we can't wait for a long. Whatever you have understood, you have not understood, feel free. Okay. In that case, we thank you very much, ma'am. In that case, we proceed to the second paper, the title of which is, you can now put off the lights. I'm sorry for bothering you, because if the questions come, then obviously the person who is raising the question should be seen, and the camera person would require adequate lights. You are the students of mass communication, that's why I can take this liberty with you. Misrepresentation and underrepresentation of LGBTQIA plus community in contemporary commercial Hindi cinema, an analysis of the film Chandigarh Kare Ashiki, released in 2021. It will be presented by Shushmita Datto, and the paper is jointly submitted by Shushmita Datto and Dr. Manali Bhattacharya.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone present here. This is Shushmita. I'm a research scholar from the Mass Comm Department of St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. And this paper is co-authored by my supervisor, Dr. Manali Bhattacharya, ma'am. So the title of my paper is Misrepresentation and Underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA plus community in contemporary commercial Hindi cinema, an analysis of the film Chandigarh Kare Ashiki. So with the help of this paper, an attempt has been made. An attempt has been made through this research work to produce constructive insights about the misrepresentation and underrepresentation of gender identities and the stereotypes that are still instilled even to this day in contemporary commercial Hindi cinema. For that purpose, the film Chandigarh Kare Ashiki has been selected. It would be studied if the film adopted a positive or a negative stance towards the LGBTQIA plus community. It is observed that the Indian cinema industry, which is known as a huge source of entertainment for the people of the country, apart from being a source of entertainment, it helps in raising awareness about a lot of societal issues. However, the industry is failing to do like good for the community. Instead of instead of giving a good message for the community, it is promoting transphobic content, which is giving boost to the transphobic and homophobic people there in the society. The industry often has been heavily criticized for its lack of employment opportunities for the community. It is still now casting transgender actors for characters which are being which is representing the LGBTQIA community. In such a situation where the industry was showcasing a lot of stereotypical content, the film Fire, directed by Deepa Mehta, came as a breeze of fresh air, which was a sharp blow to the self-proclaimed moral police and the non-liberals of the country. Cinema has always helped in imparting education to the country's people. Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, in the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization speech, stated how the Indian cinema industry has been a great source of influence for the country's people, which was even greater than newspapers and books combined. The objectives of the papers are to analyze if misrepresentation and underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA plus community in commercial Hindi cinema is still prevalent, to analyze if the selected film Chandigarh Kare Aashiki adopted a positive or negative attitude towards the community. Thirdly, to analyze if contemporary commercial Hindi cinemas are adopting gender inclusivity in their content or not. In the theoretical framework part, I have incorporated Theory of Hegemony by Antonio Gramsci, Queer and Gender Performativity Theory by Judith Butler, Social Cognitive Theory by Albert Bandura. I'm skipping the literature review part, I'm going directly to the analysis part. For the research methodology, the researchers has primarily used Van Dijk's CDA, that is critical discourse analysis. Now, why I have chosen CDA for this research study? Because gender studies can be like hugely studied with the help of CDA, thematic analysis and content analysis. For the study, the researcher has processed the strands from the primary text available throughout the film. A structural analysis of the context and justification of the chosen content was done. Synopsis of the movie and an elaboration of the rhetorical schemas are put into application. After that, the discussion has been done with the help of dialogic strands, which are clustered as the discourse fragments and then are presented under the thematic headlines. The discourse planes are spectrums which are discussed in Van Dijk's terminologies such as inequality, social power, dominance, and abuse. An analysis of each strand and fragment gives a view of the various spectrums of the Van Dijk's terminologies in the form of non-verbal as well as verbal cues which were used in the selected movie. A detailed explanation of each strand along with the illustration was clarified in the overall analysis of the selected movie. Data findings and analysis. So to talk about the film Chandigarh Kare Aashiki, it had like famous actors Ayushmann Khurrana and Vani Kapoor. It was directed by Abhishek Kapoor. The story revolves around Manvi Brar, who is a Zumba enthusiast who falls in love with Maninder, who is the lead character played by Khurrana. He did not know that Manvi is a transgender woman. Later, when Manvi confesses Manu, he gets furious and swears to destroy her life. The film received a ton of positive reviews for showcasing a sensitive issue, but amidst all the good comments, the viewers somewhat overlooked all the negative sides and the flaws of the movie. Primarily, what needs to be understood is Bollywood should start casting cisgender women for any kind of transgender role. Another such instance is Shubh Mangal Zyada Savdhan, a film on homosexuality directed by Hitesh, was played by a straight man. It is a typical vicious stereotypical cycle that nobody wants to change or break. I will be discussing a few of the dialogues which I chose for my analysis. I divided the strands according to Van Dijk's terminologies such as toxic masculinity, domination, transphobia, gender stereotype, which represents all the inequality, social power, abuse, dominance that happens day to day in the society. In the strand 1, toxic masculinity, for example, there is a dialogue where Manu, played by Ayushmann Khurrana, wishes to be known as the strongest mard in the city of Chandigarh. He wants to be called a macho man because he had an underlying problem in his childhood days. He was subjected to bullying. It was noted in a scene when Manu said, Chandigarh ka sabse bhari bhadkam mard hu mein, Chandigarh's most strong-built man. This scene signifies the hyper-masculinity which is projected in the character, which can leave a very negative impact on the viewers. Strand 2. Strand 2, domination. A scene where Manu tells Manvi, तू है क्या, लड़का या लड़की? तूने मुझे धोखा दिया, जवाब दे. What are you? Are you a man or a woman? You have betrayed me. Answer me. Indicates the power dynamics where Manu becomes a total chauvinist and loses his sanity over the fact that Manvi is a transgender woman. So these scenes can do more harm than better for the community. Strand 3, transphobia. In the film's jokes were cracked by one of the lead character's friend, Manu's friend, which left a huge negative impact on Manvi. He cracked a sleazy joke on her by using the word chakke, that is homophobic slur, which was very detrimental. It questioned the entire intention of the film. It was contradictory to what the film wanted to portray, that is an equal representation of gender identities. However, it ended up boosting a message to the transphobic people that it is okay to do such things to the people. Gender stereotype. During the last few minutes of the movie, Manu's sister makes a very disastrous comment sorry stating, अब मुंगल हाउस में क्या एक किन्नर बहू बन के आएगा? Now a kinnar will come as a wife in the house of the Munjal. This statement can lead to a very negative impact on all those people who are transphobic, and it is normal to spread filth about the LGBTQIA plus community. Analysis. The cinema industry is now grappling with various kind of bioethical issues, starting from issues like IVF in Good News, sperm donation in Wikidonor, advanced stage pregnancy in Badhai Ho, to the concept of surrogacy in Chori Chori Chupke Chupke. These Hindi films had a very strong narrative and had the power to destigmatize various issues and taboos to provide literacy. However, many times it is noted that the subject is not handled in a sensitive way and often is produced with a hint of horror and comedy material to it. Sadly, for example, Chandigarh Kare Ashiki missed the total point that the film should be about equal representation and not misrepresentation and underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA plus community. It is very important to understand that for the treatment of a queer character in a society which is heteronormative, the subject should be dealt sensitively to the realities of the queer community so that it does not end up promoting homophobia and transphobia. Sadly, the film focused more on the aspect of how Manu is a very giving person and accepts Manvi. It is a dichotomy between a cis-passing trans woman and a trans woman. What is more disturbing is the film has produced various graphical footage of gender affirmative surgery as well as the portrayal of medicalization in an extreme format that promotes bioessentialism. Bioessentialism has a big impact on transgender rights in India, which is under a huge threat under the Transgender Protection of Rights Act of 2019. This act has made it compulsory for transgender people to gain some kind of medical intervention before they are legally eligible to change their gender identity in all the government identity proof. What was problematic with the movie Chandigarh Kare Ashiki was that it showcased how the medicalization of a trans person is very important for acceptance in society. It showed how trans person goes through hormone replacement, so they are considered normal people. For instance, in one of the scenes it was shown, Manvi is seen taking estrogen tablets, following by a montage scene where she is visiting a salon for her facial hair removal appointment. However, if such medical intervention is all right for a 6-year post-operative trans woman safe was not clearly mentioned in the movie. This can leave a very wrong message both socially and scientifically. Yes, sir. To conclude, the current study aimed to analyze the misrepresentation and underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA+ community in contemporary commercial Hindi cinema. It was noted that contemporary commercial Hindi cinema is failing in depicting what it attempted to criticize through the storyline. Cinema does indeed play a very pivotal role in furthering our moral compass. It also provides a platform for many debates to arise about taboos and social stigmas. So the creators and the producers should be very sensible when choosing a content which can leave a very detrimental impact on the viewers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. If I have understood correctly, I would like to take 2 sentences from your presentations.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, handling the issue with sensitivity. That is something that how we are projecting, how sensitive we are in dealing with this issue. Cinema or film is an area where you can deal even without a dialogue, without the gesture, without light, sound. Portrayal can be different, but how sensitive we are. Why do we decide to pick up an issue for the film? What is our purpose? What is our intention? Whether the intention is good or intention is not bad. Whether I have sensibly and sensitively handled the issue or I have a hidden agenda. The second sentence I would like to take from you is what the film wanted to portray. I think you have tried to answer at the end that this is an example of misrepresentation and, if I am understood correctly, misrepresentation and underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA+ community. That means we pick up an issue. Do we pick up because it sells? It's new? And we don't give lot of importance, or not only importance, what is due to that particular community. The minimum respect, the ideal way of handling. There are certain legalities, there are certain, ethical issues and all these code of ethics. But why do we pick up this kind of issues? Because it sells more and we don't handle it very sensitively, and it could affect this community, but we see at the end that the viewers enjoy or something like that. And since this is a new issue, then people may be interested in not knowing, but it's a negative sensitivity or something like that. It's sensationalization. Because it's sensationalizes, that's why it gets a good box office. I don't know, I mean, ma'am, what is the reason behind, do you think that particular story being chosen and the film handled this way to get a box office, or to make it sensationalize because this is a new issue, people would have accepted, or things like that? How do you think?
Sir, what I felt throughout the course of my research work is that the film producers, the directors, they are trying to keep up with the trend. However, the script lacks proper research. Like a proper disclaimer was not given in the movie that if the medicalization which was being showed is at all safe for a post-operative trans woman who had a surgery 6 years back. So this film like failed in what it tried to portray. Like it was contradictory to the message what it tried to portray.
So do you think the message was positive, respectful, justified to the community?
No,
but the way it was portrayed,
the film
it could not
tried
reach out to that goal.
Yes, so the film tried to represent the community. However, the representation was misrepresentation and underrepresentation because the character, the transgender character played by Vani Kapoor, she's a very glamorous actress, and for a like transgender character played by a cisgender woman is not at all justified. So, like for example,
I got your point. It was not the issue was not handled very positively, respectfully, and in a justified manner. But how do you say that the intention was good?
The intention was good because, like even 10 years back, movies made on subjects like this was itself a taboo. Films such as like Chandigarh Kare Aashiki and Shubh Mangal Zyada Savdhan, they are coming up, but it will take another 10 years or so for the directors to instill like transgender actors in real life and to like not showcase it in a glamorous way, but actually represent the real problems of the queer community.
Ma'am, maybe the question could be naive. I mean, have you ever thought of comparing this with Rituparna Ghosh's any of the films or something like that, or his ideas and all? Has this idea ever come to your mind? I mean, I'm sorry, I mean, it could be a very naive question.
Sir, actually my core area of research is social media platform. I have exclusively chosen gender studies and film for this research conference.
Okay, thank you.
However, I have done this research paper on Bollywood, but the next time I do something about...
this is not your PhD core?
No.
So why didn't you present a paper on social media?
Sir, actually I am getting a little interest.
Good, very good. But you have done a good job. Both of you, though it is not your core area of research, but you have done justice to this particular thing.
Thank you,
so that
sir.
is quite
Thank you,
appreciable.
sir.
You know, while conducting a research itself is a huge task, and on the sidelines you handle certain other issues. It's quite appreciable.
Yes, sir. My supervisor Manali ma'am, she like always supports me.
Sorry?
My supervisor Manali ma'am at St. Xavier's, she
Yes.
she's like she supports me like you go for other research themes. In that way, you can like gain interest in other fields too. So like in all the research conference, I'm exclusively making papers according to the themes they are
Very
having
good,
and not
very good.
like.
I appreciate
Thank you, sir.
your supervisor, Dr. Bhattacharya's encouragement, and appreciate your
Thank you, sir.
doing it. You know, yes, we all may be busy on a prime work, but on the sidelines, on the newer issues, the challenge is, okay, this time it is media and culture. Maybe somewhere it is flow of media. So by way of presenting papers, it is an opportunity to learn. One last question from my side, if you allow me.
Yes, sir.
Why did you pick up this film?
Because this film was like a commercial hit, but there was a lot of positive...
Commercial success.
Yeah, it was a success. However, the film critics, like apart from the positive comments it received, the film critics highlighted the issues with the film. Like if Ayushmann Khurrana and Vani Kapoor, who are like successful actors in the industry, take part in such like films which actually misrepresents the community, how it can negatively influence the viewers, I wanted to showcase that.
Analyze that. Thank you very much. Now it's open to the house. You can have, if there is a question, you can have auditorium lights, please. Any question on this? Can anybody ask a question, or would anybody like to ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
So can you
Kindly
hear me?
introduce yourself and yes, we
Good
can hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name's Mauro Kananzi and I'm from UG1.
Please carry on.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
While
afternoon.
the paper you spoke on deals with the misrepresentation of the LGBTQ plus IA community, you speak on themes such as toxic masculinity and domination. Holding on to what you said in the second strand of your analysis, dealing with domination, you quoted and spoke of how Manu was surprised at Manvi's transgender identity. Wouldn't you consider this not to be misrepresentation, but to be rather accurate and properly represented, since this is exactly what happens in today's scenario? And there is a very thin line of difference between ignorance and homophobia.
Sorry, can you explain it once again?
Yes, ma'am.
Strand 2 domination you are
Yes, ma'am.
talking,
Over there
right?
you quoted how Manu was surprised at Manvi's transgender identity. And you spoke of how that's misrepresenting the LGBT community. But ma'am, wouldn't you agree that's rather very accurate, considering this is exactly what is happening in India, and the movie deals with the community of LGBTQ plus IA in India itself, and there's a rather thin line of difference between what is ignorance and what is homophobia.
Yes. Like through this strand, what I tried to showcase was that when Manu, played by Ayushman Khurrana, tells Manvi, "तू है क्या लड़का या लड़की? तूने मुझे धोखा दिया. जवाब दे. What are you? Are you a man or a woman?" When this scene was shown in the theater, there was a lot of clap. It was used as a comedy relief for the film. Like, it didn't showcase the problems of the queer community. What it came up to the viewers as was like, it was a comedy relief, like, "तू है क्या लड़का या लड़की?" In this sentence, a lot of clap was being found in the theater. So, like, what I am trying to give a message through this research work is that when the directors or the script writers are using dialogues like this, they should think twice before framing such a sentence, because it can fall flat. Like, the message what it is trying to give can come up flat to the viewers. So a lot of sensitivity should be given while creating such content, so that the message is clear, it is clarified to the viewers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I must congratulate the person who has raised the question. He is a UG1 student, but it means that the students present here are listening to these newer areas and again asking questions. There is a connect, and that's the success of any seminar or paper presentation, is that there is a connect. It's not that in the darker side, at the rare side, people are on their own, and here somebody is speaking, somebody else is not listening. Good. I appreciate this connect to SNU. And ma'am, yes. Oh, another question. I'm so sorry.
Just a quick question about performativity.
Ma'am, I would request you to kindly introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Monikinkini Basu. I teach in the English department.
Thank you, ma'am.
So just a quick question regarding the fact that you were talking about the performative aspect of Judith Butler. So do you think that the comment made about the cis passing trans woman is right as far as the performance aspect is concerned? Because your sexual identity should not be really a hindrance in your portraying a character from a different sexual orientation or a different sex, either way. Okay, so when you are elaborating on your paper, this is more like a comment. So when you are elaborating on your paper, please look into the matter that you are not really taking the concept of performativity into this aspect, because performativity, if you look at Richard Schechner's book, What is Performance, then you will be able to elaborate on the concept that a performer should be like a block of stone. Whatever role is given, whether you are a trans, whether you are portraying something else, because you've seen, like, I'm sure you are aware of this 1991 film, Sadak, where for the first time in Bollywood, Mahesh Bhatt was the director, and a man was playing the role of a transgender woman. Yes, Sadashiv. So if you are into this research, or if you are planning to work on this paper, you might as well go back to Sadak, take into account the film that you are working on, and then come back to maybe the one that we are having upcoming, that Sushmita Sen is going
Yes,
to
ma'am.
play a role of. So their performativity is more about the fluidity of the body of a performer. Okay, so you can take that aspect into your account. So otherwise a nice paper.
ma'am.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am, for your
Ma'am,
advice. It's
in
very
future, I will try to like incorporate what you told. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your very apt and very proper advice. And this is the gain which we have here if we have your senior faculty members, which who can show us the way that how to, further progress with this research. I think I can conclude your presentation by saying that you wanted to have some concept like responsible filmmaking.
Yes,
If you
sir.
are dealing with this issue you wanted to achieve, but I don't know how much this is possible because it's totally a commercial film. What is the intention? To make money out of a film by showcasing a special kind of people and making laughing at them or something like that. That's a different issue. The responsible filmmaking is one area, and I think we also should be aware of the fact that we should learn to respect, and we should understand and learn to respect this LGBTQIA plus community, because things are changing and we need to educate ourselves, and we must know how to appropriately deal with them. I think we conclude this paper. Thank you very much. You
Thank you,
wanted to
sir.
say something? Yeah. Okay, now that there is another question. Yes. Sure. You can take that microphone from the chair.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'll get straight into it.
No, please introduce yourself.
I'm Ankush Paul, UG 3 from this Mass Communication and Journalism Department. My question to you is, can you provide some insight into how misrepresentation of the LGBTQIA plus community, which is already stigmatized in India, can leave a lasting impact on the audience, which in turn leads to even more discrimination by them against the community, since films are one of the more popular media streams which influence people's thought process. Also, should directors of such films be criminalized for the harm caused by the misrepresentation of these films?
Okay, I'll start with the second part of your question, like if they should be criminalized. I think that the censor board should be like more active about such films, like if proper disclaimer is given when like for example through in this film which was shown, the medicalization, if it is safe or not for a post-operative trans woman, the disclaimer was given properly, then it would like have given a proper clarification to the viewers. So the censor board should be more active about such films. And the first part of your question, the misrepresentation which you are talking about, so these are the misrepresentations. Like it is showing that it is like for a transgender woman to be accepted normal in the society, hormone replacement therapy or surgery or any kind of medical intervention is very important for them to be considered normal, is problematic itself. Like it can be their choice, that is totally up to them, but it should not promote that such medical intervention is like a standard procedure for them to be considered normal. So such misrepresentation should be dealt in a very sensitive manner. And like in the second part of your question, you asked if they should be criminalized. I think that the censor board should be more active and like they should give proper disclaimers when such content are being shown.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's sufficient. Thank you very much. We have to end this questionnaire and we conclude this paper presentation here. And if we have, one more. Well, this particular presentation, ma'am, you can take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
There are other questions. Let me tell you, if we finish in time, because time management is something which is another area I have to look into. So if I have time, definitely I must appreciate that the students are raising this kind of questions. The issues are not very common and not very simple. I must appreciate you for your attentive listening and then engaging yourselves by raising questions. We'll definitely come to you if we have time. We come to the last presentation of this session, the title of which is Myth and the Modern City, narrating Kolkata in Shujai Ghosh's movie Kahani, which was released in 2012. I repeat, Myth and the Modern City, narrating Kolkata in Shujai Ghosh's movie Kahani, which was released in 2012. Paper will be presented by Shudesha Dash.
A very good afternoon to all of you present here. So without further ado, I start my paper. Anita Desai, in her foreword to Krishna Datta's book Calcutta and A Cultural and Literary History, has so remarked about Kolkata, and I quote, "I think another less definable quality is called for, the quality of myth, and that a great city is one that possesses a reality that verges on the mythical." Shujoy Ghosh's crime thriller movie Kahani explicates this particular quality of Kolkata with Durga Puja at its backdrop. Now, in very brief, I'm giving just the outline of the movie. The movie deals with several contrary elements where crime juxtaposes with festivities and modern with myth. The central crime, as shown in the movie, is a deadly gas attack in Kolkata Metro, which culminates in the death of myriad people in the city. The investigation started, but for the elopement of the culprit, it was closed with no definite solution. 2 years later, it was reopened when a pregnant woman, Vidya Bakshi, in the movie it is played by Vidya Balan, lands Kolkata airport and straightly reaches Kalighat police station to file a complaint about the missing husband. She reaches out for help to Kolkata Police, National Data Center, and Delhi CBI. Eventually, it was revealed that her missing husband, Orno Bakshi, looks like Milan Damji, who happened to be responsible for the gas attack in Kolkata Metro 2 years ago. But it is still gloomy whether her husband himself is Damji, and to discover the truth, she must find out Damji. The movie exhibits a chain of crimes against the festive backdrop that further enhances another pair of contraries associated with the city, modern and myth. The myth does not only remain as a palimpsest, but it is elucidated in the end with a sensitive discourse and a nostalgic picturization of the immersion of Durga Pratima. Let's have a small video which actually serves as an epilogue to the movie. Yeah, you have to play it. Now go to the first slide. Yes, there is a video. Audio.
देवताओं ने ही असुर को बनाया, उनको शक्ति दी, और जब वो उस शक्ति का गलत इस्तेमाल करने लगे, तो देवताओं ने माँ दुर्गा को बनाया, राक्षसों को खत्म करने के लिए। हर साल माँ आती है, सब बुराई मिटाती है, और वापस चली जाती है।
Apart from offering an engrossing crime thriller narrative, Kahani pleases its viewers with its candid portrayal of Kolkata. Some reviewers have claimed that the city becomes the main protagonist of the movie. Ghosh's choice of Kolkata as the setting of crime and mystery, instead of Mumbai or Delhi, which are greater crime hotspots, is apt. Kolkata is portrayed in the movie as a city of both darkness and light. The film begins in the darkness of an unpardonable crime, mass murder in Kolkata Metro. The first scene features an experimentation of a poisonous gas in laboratory and its deadly effect on animals. The next scene features the implementation of the poisonous gas on human beings that results in genocide inside a train in Kolkata Metro and shocks the viewers with a ghastly picture of dead bodies, one heaping on the other as the train vanishes into darkness, leaving the culprit unapprehended and unpunished. As a prelude, the narrative identifies Kolkata as a city of darkness which seems impenetrable. Change. The next part of the narrative, apparently digressed from the prelude, introduces the city of lights, Kolkata preparing itself to welcome goddess Durga in pomp and grandeur. At this juncture, Vidya Vakchi arrives in Kolkata in a fine bright morning to unfold the veil of long prevailing darkness in the city which invaded 2 years ago. The juxtaposition of darkness and light, both literally and metaphorically, paints the image of the modern city. No, there must be another slide before that. No, before that. Go back. Yes, right. The art of guerrilla filmmaking, as is used throughout the entire movie, becomes an appropriate tool for presenting the city the way it is. With the visuals of overcrowded streets, marketplaces, sparkling restaurants, cheap hotels, police stations, puja pandals, suffocating traffic jams, the city is placed on the verge of modernity. On the other hand, the images of secluded tapering alleys, rain-soaked muddy streets, yellow taxis, dilapidated buildings of British era, Victoria Memorial, Kalighat area, the idol making in Kumotuli seem to push the city back to its bygone days. The city is identified as a modern metropolis as well as an ancient piece of land which has not been uprooted from its myths and legends. Both sets of visuals contribute in building up its modern identity. The introductory song describes Kolkata in such paradoxical terms. The very first stanza of the song consolidates the aspects of the city already mentioned. It says, Kolkata is a place which has a dual role to play, which juxtaposes contrary elements. Now, let's listen to the song. Unlike Satyajit Ray's Calcutta trilogy, where Kolkata is depicted in its process of modernization with the sole purpose to highlight the negative aspects of it, Sujoy Ghosh's Kahani attempts to revive the antique charm of Kolkata even in the height of modernity, by occasionally alluding to mythology. Vidya compares herself to Arjun, the great hero of the Mahabharata, in her mission to destroy that antagonist who leads the society to the path of unrighteousness, which in Sanskrit we call adharma. And in her journey, she wishes to have Rana beside her, whose official name, as he says, is Shattoki, deliberately named after a character in the Mahabharata who was a devotee to Krishna and a great friend and charioteer to Arjun. And Vidya consciously says, Satyaki Arjun ka Sarthi. In the heart of the movie lies the legendary myth associated with Durga Puja, retold in a modern context in terms of both complicity and divergence. The woman protagonist of the film, as she introduces herself to the police, is a software engineer, a firewall expert, whose job is to save the computer from virus attacks. The image of a modern urban woman apparently does not fit the ancient myth, but her power to fight the menacing adversaries lies in her intellect and courage. Her arrival in the city also marks the beginning of Durga Puja. She herself witnesses the welcome of the goddess on the streets of Kolkata on her way to the police station. Her final encounter with the culprit takes place on an auspicious day of Vijaya Dashami. Play it. Go back. Yes.
मिलन काम जी जो अब तक सिर्फ एक कहानी
मेरे पास वक्त बहुत कम है मिसेस बागची। अगर आपको अपना हस्बैंड वापस चाहिए, फाइल्स।
मैं पेपर्स लौटा दूँ तो मुझे मेरा हस्बैंड लौटा दोगे?
हाँ, फाइल्स।
लौटा सकोगे? सोच लो।
According to Hindu mythology, Vijaya Dashami marks the end of Durga Puja, commemorating the victory of the goddess over the demon, Mahishasura. In Kolkata, this version of myth is popular, where the northern region of India celebrates Dasera, remembering Lord Rama's victory over Ravana. Set in Kolkata, the film more relates to the former version of the myth, that is, the eradication of evil power for restoring the order and peace in the society by the goddess, because the movie also deliberately features a woman protagonist. Vidyavakchi may represent the goddess, but at the same time she represents every woman who cannot be distinguished at last in the crowd of women wearing white saris with red border, foreheads smeared with vermilion. Yes. And that's why perhaps she does not feel the necessity to reveal her individual identity to the culprit. It is in the denouement that the movie unravels the mystery of her husband's disappearance 2 years ago. Vidya's sole aim was to reach and punish the culprit Milan Damji, who was responsible for the gas attack in the metro, in which her husband, Major Arup Basu, sacrificed his life. So Vidya's narrative from the very beginning of the movie is revealed to be untrue. And Kolkata, very importantly, becomes an instrument for her of her delusional claims on which her Kahani is best. Kahani is not perhaps the most prominent movie which revolves around Kolkata, neither it is the first one which celebrates Durga Puja. However, it stands apart from all those because it connects the both. Revisiting the modern city in light of ancient myths is what the movie aims at, with a conspicuous message of the triumph of good over evil. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, generally we say that this film is made at the backdrop of the city of Kolkata. But as she has rightly pointed out, that the city has taken a center stage here in the film. And Durga Puja, the most important event of the city, which has got a mythological religious interpretation as well as social participation. The principal event is coming as a carrier, or if the event progresses at the protagonist progresses in the film. So it is a crime thriller in one base.
Right, sir.
But the use of the city at the center stage and the city's prime event at the center stage going along, progressing along with the storyline is an area which you have tried to depict. You know, this is another way of reviewing, depicting, understanding the film. This film was definitely a success, and many people have seen it, but your interpretation, madam, gives us the opportunity of looking at it from a different dimension. where
Sir, I
the
would just want
Please,
to share
please.
a few words. There are other movies which are based on Kolkata, like
Right.
Shotojit Rai's Pratidwandi, then Shimabadho, Jono Aranyo. And there are also other set of movies which focuses on the Durga Puja itself. For example, Rituparna Ghosh's Utsav, right? So apart from these, I mean, some movies based on Kolkata which are particularly portraying Kolkata and particularly portraying Durga Puja. But I found Kahani is something which connects the both by recreating the myth which is associated with Durga Puja. That's why I have chosen this area
and a very popular
instead
film.
of, yes, instead of just looking at it just as a crime or mystery thriller.
Yes, that's why I have said that your interpretation has given us a new look towards the film, how the city has come in the center stage
Right.
and the principal event of Durga Puja is progressing along with the protagonist and is also going through the film. Thank you very much for this new interpretation of this very popular film.
Thank you, sir.
May I invite you for your questions, please? Can we have auditorium lights?
Can you please switch off this light, this?
No, that once you have come on the center stage, ma'am, you have to bear with it. You are the principal attraction, principal focal area. That cannot be. Let me tell you, the recording is going on. These gentlemen would require this kind of light. Otherwise, I'm sorry, bear with.
No, no, sir, it's okay,
Or you
fine.
can sit here and take a microphone if you really, no, sometimes these are creating some problem with the eyes and gets you a headache. Yeah, quickly. This is a movie which is within your syllabus, quote unquote. How many of you have seen? You see, 10 years is a long. I mean, how do I connect? I mean, they may not be able to. Right, right. Can we have questions? Kindly watch it. It's a very good movie.
It's really a very good movie. I mean, those who are very interested in crime thriller.
Or making of the film.
Yes.
The speed of the
Please
film.
watch the movie.
The suspense factor.
And also, I think a trope has been used in order to intensify these elements of crime and mystery. That is the unreliable narrator. Okay, what the protagonist is telling so far, she is creating a particular narrative for herself, and that comes out to be completely false.
Right. Can we have questions, please? I was praising the students, but now a movie which is purely syllabus, within the syllabus, and a popular movie. May I invite a couple of questions, please? Shoykot sir would be taking the call. Thank you, sir.
Just one question. Have you chosen this movie just, and do you think that this is one of a trendsetter movies of that time?
I think this was the first movie of Sujoy Ghosh. So I really don't know whether he chose to direct a crime or mystery thriller. But I mean, this movie basically falls into the category of crime and mystery thriller. And as you know, this particular genre, it pleases the viewers more than any other genre, right? But instead of looking at it from that point of view, I just try to give it some other perspective, which I found it very interesting in the movie. That is this mythical backdrop or the palimpsest.
At the same time, this is just my personal opinion that creating a connection with the biggest festival of the Bengalis, Sujoy Ghosh has done a great job in popularizing this festival in a pan-Indian basis. Am I right?
Sujoy Ghosh's, this movie I have watched. I actually do not remember whether I have watched some other movies. Could you please name some, I mean...
No. I think if I've understood correctly, the question is, through this film, did Sujoy Ghosh propagate this Durga Puja pan-India or abroad because it's
Okay, okay.
successful? Am I understood correctly?
I think it is because this art of, as I also was discussing in my paper, the art of guerrilla filmmaking, that is recording the way it is going in the Kolkata, in the streets. I mean, how the people are behaving, how the people are getting into excitement about Durga Puja. They have recorded for the movie as the way it is. So I think it could portray Durga Puja very well in comparison with the other movies which also portrayed Durga Puja.
So, thank you. Overall, I like the paper very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if sir has liked it, so your job is done. Yes, anybody wants to ask any question? I do not want to force you. I must appreciate, I mean, as I told you that your perception in looking at it, you know, your review or your presentation has opened a new dimension to us, as we always see that the movie is made on the backdrop of the city of Kolkata and on the background of this festival. But now the city has come forward, the festival has come forward, and both are moving with the story and it intermingling, and the watching of the city and watching of the festival in a crime thriller and how this is being used. This is a new way of interpretation of the films. We all liked it. This is definitely a new interpretation. I congratulate. Now I come to my friend whom I deceived, that did not allow. His question was on the second paper. Please, I told you that if I have time and if you are still willing to ask your question, you are most welcome. Yes, yes, I'm telling you. No, but you wanted to say something at the end, which I said, sorry, you don't. Oh, okay. So, thank you very much, the three of you. And I don't know about you, whether it is your core area of research or you also have taken up this research work, minor research for this particular session, or is it your core area of research, or you? Yes.
Yes. Sir, actually, I want to do my research on the rewritings of the Mahabharata, which deals with this aspect of myth. That's why I chose.
Which discipline do you belong to?
Sir, English.
English, very good.
Humanities.
Humanities. So, the respected paper presenters of the session and distinguished faculty members and my dear students. As I said, the purpose of this academic discourse is to expose ourselves to newer areas which they have researched, reviewed, and found something new to present before us. I think all these papers have done immensely good work of research, watching it in completely different ways, taking up issues like starting from the end in the reverse order, that as I was telling you, that the city comes in the center stage, the principal event comes to the center stage and going ahead with the protagonist and the film, and the new interpretation is definitely something to give us a new idea to look at this film. And the issue of LGBTQ and responsible filmmaking was another area which was presented. And I think the takeaway is when we ask the filmmakers to be responsible, we all need to be responsible in dealing with or, making loose comments and things like that. And the concept of body and bodily expressions, why they are used and what are the implications of them in a film, was also analyzed in a great way. That the concept of body and the taboo and the society portrayal of women in film or media. And another point which she made, that this concept and storyline was taken not much of extravaganza was made, but yet got a box office. So we need to understand these nuances also. I appreciate your efforts, and I also appreciate that this is not your core area. So in the areas of humanities and social sciences, given any area, you can come forward to do maybe a minor research and things like that. That speaks of your research orientation and the methodology and explaining and analyzing it in a own way of your findings. I appreciate that. I appreciate the students. I really appreciate you, that you could connect with the discourses, and all the questions asked were relevant and of a standard of a benchmark. And starting from UG1 to PG, everybody was quite comfortable in asking questions. These days, everybody writes the questions and reads it out from the mobile. This is a new style. I do not want to comment, because if I comment, then I'll be stigmatized as a very old school person. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. How do you ask the question is not the concern. The concern is your question, and you have asked question. That is something quite important for the entire activity of having this kind of conclave, exposing you to various new thoughts from different people. I congratulate the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in SNU, and as I said, this is not the first time. I have come earlier, I do come here, and I do have very high esteem about this department, this university, and especially the students of this department. But the high esteem was on a different score, that I know that you are capable of streaming live events like book fair and many other things. You can do live transmissions, you can do newsletters, you can do all kinds of productions which are practical oriented. But when it comes to theory also, nobody can say SNU gives more importance to the practical and keeps this theoretical aspect and academic discourses in the back seat. No, it's the balance between the two. I appreciate that. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Snehashish sir for chairing the session. Thank you to all the participants for being part of our conclave and making it an enriching experience for all of us. As we end the session, I would like to thank all of you for being a wonderful audience. I would request Shoykut sir to say a few words.
I just take this opportunity to tell especially the students that the gentleman who is sitting here, Mr. Snehashish Shur, is one of the most respected media educators of India, and he was my teacher in my university days when I studied masters in journalism. And it's still, I feel that when I was listening to, when he was saying that, I have gone back to my university days. Still a lot of things to learn from him, and really whatever I spent 1.5 decades in television journalism, and whatever I have learned a little bit about television, the starting was with Snehashish sir, Snehashish Da, now I call him Snehashish Da, is a big brother. So thank you so much, Snehashish Da, for coming and inspiring us regularly. Thank you so much.